Alrighty, welcome back everybody to our latest severe weather coverage. Obviously, right now we have two severe thunderstorm warnings. I usually don't go live for this little of amount of severe thunderstorm warnings. However, we have many storms that are rotating right now west of Atlanta, Georgia. It's a very populated area, so I figure just in case something does happen, we are going to be live all the way at least through Atlanta and some other areas, as we do have a large risk of severe weather today that's in place. I want to begin with what's happening west of Atlanta right now, because we've been seeing an uptick in rotation in several different areas, and I'm surprised there are no tornado warnings right now, because the rotation has actually been increasing quite a bit over the last few minutes. One of the storms is just directly to the west-southwest of Atlanta, Georgia. You'll notice the velocities are increasing quite a bit just over the last few minutes, just to the south of Carrollton. And this storm in particular is very close to producing a tornado. It's going to be moving towards the Chattahoochee Hills, Fairplay, and South Fulton, just off to the west there of Atlanta, Georgia. So this is a potential tornadic storm here over the next several minutes as it continues to track east at around 50 miles per hour. There is a chance that it does produce a tornado. Further down to the south, we also have a couplet that is developing on the south side of Franklin that is also becoming a bit more tornadic. I wouldn't rule out a tornado with this as it approaches Grantville, Nunan, and as well as Moreland in western Georgia over the next few minutes. And they have just issued a new severe thunderstorm warning further south on a different storm. But we're going to go further south in a second. But if you're anywhere around Atlanta, Georgia right now, definitely be weather aware. We have an intense line of storms at least moving in your direction with some gusty winds and at times damaging winds. And there are also a couple of couplets right now west of the Peachtree City area that are rotating, and we could end up seeing a tornado or two as these move towards the Atlanta, Georgia area. And so definitely make sure that you're staying weather aware, have that tornado action plan ready to go. If you have any friends or family in and around Atlanta, Georgia, make sure that they're also aware of this situation. Really what we're looking at right now, though, are these little bulges that are coming out of the line of storms, and that's where we're also going to see a mix of an inflow coming into the line of storms, and that's going to kind of spin up some of these cells, perhaps producing a few brief tornadoes here in northwestern Georgia, and even as we go further into the afternoon into much of central and eastern Georgia. Further down to the south, we also have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings associated with a pretty large supercell out in front of the line that's been producing golf ball sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds and frequent lightning. That is moving towards Waverly Hall, Hamilton, and as well as Pine Mountain, just to the west of Tal Button, if I'm saying the name right. And also further down to the south, we have a few other storms that are producing a little bit of rotation, one of which is going to be just off to the east of Andalusia, west of Elba in southeastern Alabama, and it's this cell right here south of Brantley. We've had a little bit of rotation with this cell as well. It's been a bit broader over the last few minutes, but we're going to keep a close eye on that as it eventually goes towards Brundage and Ayrton over the next few minutes. But in general right now, our main severe weather risk is in western Georgia. So we are watching these storms just outside of Atlanta. We may get a tornado warning on one of these here in the next few minutes, with rotation intensifying as it goes towards South Fulton and as well as Hogansville. Now keep in mind, today's severe weather risk is a bit more elevated. The Storm Prediction Center currently has an enhanced risk of severe weather in place across the southeast and also back along the east coast, including North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, and even a small sliver of Louisiana and Mississippi, where some numerous damaging winds, a little bit of large hail, but mainly wind, and then also a few tornadoes will be possible. This threat goes into the early evening hours tonight, but we'll probably only be live here for about 2, 3, maybe 4 hours at most, covering the severe weather threat, and we'll at least be live here through Atlanta, because I do think that tornado risk again is increasing right now. One thing I do want to point out is that our tornado risk for today has decreased, so we are down to a 5% tornado risk here across the east coast and as well as into the southeast, with a few tornadoes being a possibility. So if you're anywhere along the east coast, definitely make sure you have multiple ways to receive warnings. Again, a few tornadoes are going to be possible out of this particular event. A lot of it will come from the line of storms, meaning we're not really expecting much of a strong or long track tornado risk, but it's definitely still something that you're going to want to make sure that you're staying weather aware for, especially in Georgia, South Carolina, and also back over in North Carolina. All right, we got a new radar scan coming in right now, again, just west of Atlanta, Georgia. We have a couple areas of rotation, one of which right now is west of Grantville. That is intensifying a little bit. Again, a little couplet right now approaching Highway 27. Here's your area of rotation. So winds going towards the radar, not very evident, but we definitely have a strong surge going, away from the radar. And the winds going towards the radar are definitely on the stronger side of things. They have just issued a new severe thunderstorm warning for this as well, which is another tornado possible label, meaning that we do have a chance here for a spin-up tornado in this segment of storms approaching Nunan, Peach City, and as well as Sonia, and eventually going towards Hampton and just south of Riverdale. The storm that's a little bit further off to the north near Carrollton, that rotation again is still at least on the stronger side of things. We're still waiting to see if that can wrap up. But definitely a tornado is possible with that as it approaches Chattahoochee Hills and as well as Fairplay, just to the south of Chapel Hill. Back over in Atlanta and north of Atlanta, Georgia, we mainly just have strong storms right now. I'm not seeing much that is tornadic here right now, but we'll continue to keep a close eye on this. Actually, this is a live shot right now back over in not Chattanooga, Tennessee, but back over in Waleska, Georgia. So just off to the north of Atlanta. We got a little shelf cloud rolling in right now, just beyond the tree line on the Radar Omega camera. So damaging winds will be rolling in here, or at least some gusty winds rolling into the north side of Atlanta over the next few minutes. By the way, huge shout out to Bro What and as well as Maggie with the gifted memberships. Put some W's in the chat for them. I really appreciate the generosity. You look tired? I'm not really tired. I did only get like 6-7 hours of sleep maybe, but I'm not really tired. We're good to go. Hey Bro What for the super chat. The current live cam is local for me. Yeah, again, I wasn't really planning on going live today, but I mean, the Atlanta area is much more populated, and I honestly think we could get a tornado warning here in a few minutes, so we're live just in case. Just in case something does happen. It'll probably be a short live stream, but we'll see what happens. Again, the risk of severe weather will go, though, all day today. I mean, we have a large severe weather watch in effect from the Carolinas back into Georgia right now. This goes until 7 o'clock Eastern time, so we definitely have a risk that'll continue here for the next several hours with damaging winds and also a few tornadoes being possible. Our greatest threat, again, for a tornado would be to the west and around the Atlanta metro area, where we have a little bit more rotation embedded in this line of thunderstorms. Just off to the south of Franklin, we still have an area of rotation that we are watching very closely approaching Grantville and Nunan. And then again, the Carrollton storm is the other rotation that's been a bit on the stronger side over the last few minutes. Velocities going towards the radar are near 70 miles per hour. So even if we don't have a tornado, the winds will definitely be strong approaching South Fulton here over the next 15 to 20 minutes. So if you are in any of these severe thunderstorm warnings, it's a good idea to stay at least away from windows as these storms do approach. We'll stay zoomed out here for a moment. And yeah, again, storms are rolling in right now. Also, let me see here. We have another camera. There's one in Pickens. Pickens is very foggy. Pickens, Georgia. Very foggy right now. All right, let's go Crystal Falls. Put that bottom middle. All right. New Jersey. I think New Jersey will be mostly wind today. There's a low-end chance for a brief tornado up there, though. But it'll be mostly wind, and that's mostly going to be around like 5, 6, 7 o'clock this evening, so it's driven more towards the late afternoon. Thank you, Karen, for the super chat. I appreciate that. Am I safe in Antarctica? Yes, you are. Tennessee, most of Tennessee's done unless you're on the very eastern side of the state. We do have a little bit of at least some strong storms still rolling through, but overall it's mostly rain at this point across Tennessee. There's a little strong segment of storms approaching Andrews in North Carolina just to the east of the Appalachian Mountains, or kind of along the Appalachian Mountain Range actually. But severe weather is pretty much done in Tennessee. Our severe weather risk at this point is mainly along the East Coast. The latest SPC outlook will be coming out, I believe, in the next 15 minutes or so, and so we'll have a new risk outlined. But right now, our enhanced risk of severe weather, once again, is from North Carolina to the Gulf Coast. We have a slight risk all the way into New York City, and a marginal threat that goes all the way up into New York and even southern New England. You don't see that very often here in the month of March, but there it is. That's just how it is today. And we also had severe weather in, I think, southern New England back in February, but I could be wrong. All right, here's the latest radar scan. I want to go back full cam here. This is pretty interesting. We have our main area of rotation just to the west of Atlanta, approaching South Fulton. At the minimum, we're talking about a surge of damaging winds, but we've had an area of convergence attempting to develop over the north and west side of Whitesburg, Georgia. Again, approaching Chattahoochee Hills. But further down to the south, we have multiple little couplets here. So we could be talking about a potential for a few brief tornadoes embedded in this line as it approaches the west and south side of the Atlanta suburbs. I'm not seeing any debris signatures as of right now, but definitely could see a tornado out of this. About a couple hours ago, we actually did have a tornado drop back over north of Mobile, Alabama. And I'm going to show you guys what it looked like on radar. But this right here was about an hour or two ago at 9:33 a.m. Central Time. We had a couplet near College Woods. This was an unwarned tornado, but it was only on the ground for about 5 minutes or so. It was pretty brief, but we did have a debris signature. So it kind of gives you an idea that we can get tornadoes embedded in lines, and sometimes they will go unwarned. But at least these have severe thunderstorm warnings on them. So hopefully, people that are in these warnings are heeding the warning and at least staying away from windows. Also, there's a little bit of rotation now near LaGrange that is moving off to the northeast. And a bit further down to the south, near Smith Station, we still have a more powerful storm that is producing some large hail and damaging winds approaching Hamilton and Waverly Hill in Georgia. And also back over near Elba, there's been a little bit of broad rotation for the last few minutes there in southeastern Alabama. But for the most part, it's mainly a wind risk right now moving through the Florida Panhandle and as well as southeastern Alabama. Our most elevated tornado risk right now is going to be around Atlanta. So we're going to mainly focus on this region. Here's our latest radar scan coming in. The Ping King for the super chat. Any threat in Colorado today? I'm not expecting anything in Colorado. Hey, Murax for the 7 months as well. I already ate Culver's last night, so we might already be cooked for Wednesday. Wednesday looks crazy. We'll talk a little bit about Wednesday in today's stream. And again, assuming we're not live past like 3 o'clock Eastern or 4 o'clock Eastern, we will have a video, so we'll have a much more detailed breakdown on Wednesday then in the late afternoon. All right, here's the latest radar scan. Most intense area of rotation that I'm seeing right now is going to be north of Hogansville. So again, a little area of convergence right now along the line approaching Grantville. Again, I'm not seeing any tornadoes confirmed right now, at least no debris signatures that are popping up on radar. But we have a lot of different small couplets right now that are approaching Nunan and Peachtree City. And then we also have a larger area of rotation that has become a bit broader over the last few minutes that is going to be approaching South Fulton. So a more significant risk for wind is going to come out of this just east of Carrollton, approaching South Fulton and Union City. It will eventually go towards Atlanta as well. So continue to stay away from windows, lowest floor possible if you're in any of these severe thunderstorm warnings. Again, they both have tornado possible labels on them, as there is a chance that we do get an isolated tornado out of this activity as it continues to move in the direction of the Atlanta suburbs. Thank you, Natalie, for becoming a member. I know a lot of you guys are tuning in from Georgia. We built up quite an audience in Georgia here over the last few weeks, especially with that outbreak that we had on March 15th. So I do think it was a good idea to go live just in case something does happen here. But we don't have a huge East Coast audience, mainly because of, severe weather not being nearly as prevalent in these areas. But right now, it's a little bit more significant. Again, we got a large enhanced risk in place today. Keep in mind, again, that the tornado risk was downgraded a little bit from yesterday, which I completely agree with. I honestly think even a 5% tornado risk was a little bit high, but our tornado risk outlined for today is a 5% stretching from Virginia back into the Gulf Coast. I think really the main two areas to watch for that tornado risk will be right in here, and then also another area later this afternoon in eastern Virginia, and as well as eastern North Carolina, where a few tornadoes are possible. This right here, though, is going to depend a lot more, in my opinion, on us seeing discrete supercellular activity, which I'm not entirely sure if we're going to see that there in North Carolina or Virginia. It's going to depend on the evolution of this line of thunderstorms as we go throughout the afternoon hours. But we'll go through the future radar too in just a moment. Another shout out to Bro What with another 20 gifted memberships. Put some W's in the chat for Bro What. If you got a gifted membership, make sure to thank him in the chat as well. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I don't think we're going to see really much in Pittsburgh today. I mean, if Pittsburgh were to see anything, it'd be just a isolated rumble of thunder. Pittsburgh's not even in the risk today. Here's your, again, general risk for today. So Pittsburgh's not in it, but New York City is. We got approximately 90 million people in the risk of severe weather today. It doesn't mean 90 million people will see severe weather, but there's a chance that around 90 million people are at least in the path of some severe weather today, stretching from New Jersey and New York City back to the Gulf Coast. Most significant risk, again, will be over the next few hours in Georgia, Alabama, the Florida Panhandle, and back into the Carolinas. Main concern today, again, being some scattered to numerous damaging winds. All right, this is the latest radar scan. Velocities have not updated. We don't have any debris signature, again, as of right now in any of this activity. Our strongest area of wind is going to be approaching South Fulton. We could be up to damaging winds near 70 miles per hour, approaching South Fulton and as well as Chattahoochee Hills near Fairplay. And then we got multiple areas of rotation right now approaching Nunan. I really wouldn't be surprised if they issued a tornado warning on this. There's multiple couplets. We got 1, 2, 3, and 4. We got 4 couplets right now that are approaching Moreland, Grantville, Nunan, and Peachtree City in Fayetteville. Again, just south of Atlanta, Georgia. Also, I do want to point this out. Well, again, we're going to talk a lot more about this in our video forecast later today. But tomorrow and as well as Wednesday look very concerning in the Great Plains, Ohio Valley, and along the Mississippi River Valley. This is the Energy Helicity Index for tomorrow evening in Oklahoma. This environment here, if we get storms initiating, which we don't know if that's going to happen yet, but if storms initiate, we could be talking about a small-scale outbreak of severe weather in Oklahoma and Kansas tomorrow night. So we need to watch that very closely. Very strong wind shear, lots of instability is going to be available there, and so we definitely could see a few tornadoes. So we're going to need to keep a close eye on that. But again, we'll have more details on that in my video later today. Hey, Love Tree for the super chat. In Tallapoosa, Georgia, the storm just recently passed over us, and the wind pulled our trampoline up, and even with it bolted to the concrete. That's actually crazy. But today is tossing trampolines on Tacos Tuesday, so kind of to be expected. If you're in Louisville, Kentucky's fine. No severe weather there today. All right, here's the latest radar scan that's coming in. Today's Monday? No, all right. Today's Monday. My bad, guys. I'm in the wrong day right now. Today's Mesoscale Madness Monday. I think that's what we call it, at least. All right, latest radar scan. We still have 4 couplets right now approaching Nunan. So still 4 areas of rotation, maybe even 5. 5 areas of rotation, or about 4 or 5 different areas of rotation are approaching Nunan, Georgia, Interstate 85, and Moreland, eventually going towards Peachtree. We still have a large but broad area of circulation approaching Chattahoochee Hills. This is going to be the storm that really goes more towards Atlanta. Also, there's actually a little bit of rotation back up near Douglasville, just north of Interstate 20. It's moving towards the west side of Atlanta, so we'll need to watch that. This is broad and it's pretty weak right now, but a little area of rotation heading in that direction. I'm honestly surprised we don't have a tornado warning for this. I'm really surprised. I mean, we literally have 5 different couplets right now on radar. None of them are, you know, on the ground by any means, but you could legitimately get a tornado with any of these 5 areas of rotation approaching Nunan. Bottom right of your screen, that's Kennesaw, Georgia. Storms are about to roll through there. Trying to see if we have any other shots of anything here. The Crystal Falls Golf Course is also coming up on some storms. Pickens is very foggy right now. All right, latest radar scan still showing a strong line of thunderstorms approaching Nunan and Peachtree City. And stay away from windows if you are in this severe thunderstorm warning. Tornado does remain possible. We have a new velocity scan coming in here now. And right here over Nunan. Area of convergence is coming together right on the southwest side of Nunan, Georgia. Over Timberland Trail subdivision approaching Oaklawn and Interstate 85. This is probably the strongest area of rotation. Yeah, this is definitely the strongest area of rotation that I can visibly see on radar right now. And this will be approaching the radar site here over the next 10 minutes. Hopefully the radar site doesn't take a hit from this storm. Hail risk for Cherokee County in Georgia. Across the board, the hail risk is pretty low. The only storm that's actively producing hail is the one near Hamilton and Waverly Hill, and that's around quarter-sized hail. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it's lower than that, though. Now, it's been a weakening storm here over the last few minutes. But hail risk, generally speaking, across all of Georgia today is pretty low. It's not 0, but it's pretty low. Has Max already done the West Coast? Nothing's really happening on the West Coast today. We do have it's mostly just going to be rain there today. We don't have any severe weather forecasted there along the West Coast. All right, we'll have another radar scan in a moment. And tornado could drop at any time with these storms near Nunan. The severe thunderstorm warning for Carroll, Coweta, Douglas, and Fulton counties was downgraded. to half or up to down to dime-sized hail. So we no longer have quarter-sized hail on this storm. Down to dime-sized hail. Got a little storm organizing right now just west of Atlanta. We're keeping an eye on that one. Another radar scan will be coming in here in just a moment. And we'll see if there's anything touching down right now. Again, no tornado warnings for right now, but this storm, in my opinion, is honestly worthy of a tornado warning with the rotation that we have over Nunan. Hey, Ryan, for the super chat. Griffin, Georgia. Let me check out where Griffin is first. Griffin is really going to be with what we have right now. That's the storm that's going to hit you. So you're going to get that line of thunderstorms, mainly a wind risk, but again, a brief tornado can't be ruled out. That'll be the main concern. We're currently sitting at 3 severe thunderstorm warnings. We have a couple of flash flood warnings as well, mainly in Mississippi and Louisiana. Flash flooding, not a whole lot of a concern today in Georgia, but some localized flooding, especially in low-lying areas, are going to be possible. Latest radar scan is now coming in. Alright, here's the latest scan. See what the velocities look like. And storm's now approaching I-85 near Moreland. It'll be approaching Peachtree City and Tyrone over the next few minutes. See what the velocities look like here. Thank you, Pamela, for becoming a member. I don't know how we don't have a tornado warning on this. The rotation's still coming together right now near Nunan. The CC radar hasn't updated, but still pretty strong rotation right now on the south side of Nunan, Georgia. Approaching I-85. We have a couple other areas of rotation near Moreland. Those are slightly broader. And still got a large, broad area of circulation near Chattahoochee Hills. Alright, correlation coefficient still not indicating a tornado, but the velocities are still relatively strong right now, approaching I-85. So definitely stay away from windows if you're in Longstreet, Peachtree City. Let's see if the reflectivity updates, but I think we have a little bulging area here, which we have an inflow coming in as well. So it's definitely trying to organize. In this line of thunderstorms. The velocities currently being measured over the south side of Nunan are around 70 miles per hour. So at the minimum, we have very strong winds that are approaching Peachtree City and Fayetteville. But again, tornado definitely possible with this, crossing over I-85 right now. Let me see if we have any cameras in along I-85 here. New radar scans now coming in. Shout out to Regina with the 10 gifted memberships as well. W's in the chat for Regina. Appreciate the generosity. Okay, so this is just west of Tyrone. As the new radar scan comes in. We got there's 2 cameras in this area, but they're both looking at the ground. Alright, here's the latest radar scan. So again, we got a stronger area of rotation right now, right over I-85. No debris signature again, so nothing confirmed, but the rotation's still pretty strong. Tornado does remain possible as this approaches Peachtree City. So if you are in Peachtree City, I would be staying away from windows, lowest floor possible. The rotation a little further down to the south, not nearly as intense near Moreland and Luthersville. Mainly a damaging wind risk right now. Near South Fulton, we have a large, broad area of rotation that's over Chattahoochee Hills, approaching South Fulton and Rivertown. Main concern right now for those in the western side of Atlanta and the suburbs will be damaging winds. So just stay away from windows as these storms approach. We could have some flying tree branches or even some trees coming down, maybe power lines coming down as these storms continue to move east. They have gone ahead and issued a new severe thunderstorm warning for a bunch of different counties in Georgia. And this will be for damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour, in addition to a tornado possible label, which is going to be for basically all of the Atlanta area, unless you're on the north side of the Atlanta metro. A large severe thunderstorm warning has been put in place for Atlanta, East Point, Forest Park, Riverdale, South Fulton, Union City as well, Fairburn, Ben Hill, right along I-85 for damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour, and they continue to leave that tornado possible label on this. Our daughter's birthday is today. How is Richmond, Virginia looking this evening? I will go through the future radar here in a few minutes. But I think generally speaking, Richmond will be mainly a wind risk in the mid to late afternoon and very early evening. So just be aware of that. All right, latest radar scan. Still got some strong rotation right now east of Nunan. And then we also have a couplet again near Moreland. But nothing confirmed on the ground or anything like that, but definitely a brief tornado is possible as this approaches Peachtree City and Senoia in Georgia. And we still are watching that broad area of circulation approaching South Fulton, Union City, Riverdale, Forest Park, and East Point near Atlanta, Georgia. A little further down to the south, we do have a severe storm still continuing back over north of Columbus in western Georgia. That is mainly quarter-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds. And then back down near the Gulf Coast, back actually into southeastern Alabama, we are starting to see a small little area of rotation again developing near New Brockton. That's approaching Enterprise and will eventually go towards Ozark. But again, the strong tornado threat really not existent today. It's mainly going to be, brief and weak tornadoes across this line. That's your QLCS tornado variety. But with that said,
a new tornado warning.
So we now have a tornado warning for this storm in Peachtree City and Fayetteville. We've been talking about this storm for a long time. If you are in Peachtree City, Tyrone, Fayetteville, north of Woosley, you need to seek shelter. Get away from windows, lowest floor possible, and get into an interior room of your home or building. Once again, this is a brand new tornado warning in effect here, just south of the Atlanta suburbs, or south of the Atlanta metro in the suburbs for Peachtree City, Fayetteville, Jonesboro, and Tyrone, for Clayton, Fayette, and Coweta counties in Georgia. Rotation again has been strengthening over the last several minutes. Just east of Nunan, it's approaching Peachtree City, which is a very populated area, by the way. So if you have any friends or family here, make sure that they're aware of this. This is a dangerous storm if it's able to produce a tornado. But again, radar indicator rotation here just south of Atlanta. This warning includes, let me get the exact number here. This warning includes a population of over 270,000 people. So feel free to share the stream with them, share the stream with any friends or family that you might know here on the south side of the Atlanta area. Peachtree City, again, being the main location this warning. The latest radar scan showing, again, still very strong rotation. A couplet right now located over a couple of neighborhoods just to the north of Lower Fayetteville Road near the Olympia Park subdivision approaching Long Street. And we also have a couplet just to the west of Elders Mill as well, east of Moreland. That's not as strong, but there is definitely some rotation there. All right, so if there is a tornado in progress, which again, it is possible, this will eventually come up on the Central Library in Coweta, the Thomas Crossroads community as well, basically traveling right along Highway 34. The NCG Cinemas in Peachtree City is in the track of this. We got a Costco Wholesale Club and Miller's Ale House and Sam's Club that are in the track of it near Trinity Christian School. Which, again, school is in session today unless there's some sort of spring break happening. And then the Faith Lutheran Church and Preschool is in the track of this, near Ramsey Farm. Latest radar scan showing our rotation right along Highway 34. It's approaching the Sharpsburg-McCollum Road. So it's about to cross over the Sharps-McCollum Road. Right in this area, we have the Atlanta Brick Co. Toy Store, Chick-fil-A, Kroger that are in this general area. And there's also the Cambridge House in Richmond Place right there as well. We also have a couple areas of rotation south of the tornado warning, mainly west of Senoia, and then back over near Atlanta. Again, mainly a wind threat right now. Coming towards Atlanta. A little bit of rotation still near South Fulton and a little bit of rotation near Douglasville that'll be approaching the north side of Atlanta over the next 10 to 15 minutes. We have a tornado debris signature apparently on this storm. All right, so yeah, we actually have a tornado debris signature. So there is a tornado in progress, at least a weak tornado in progress, east of Nunan. Okay, that is a big debris signature. We have a potentially strong tornado in progress. We got a tornado in progress right now, just to the west, again, of Peachtree City. So there is definitely a tornado here near Highway 34. That debris signature has blown up over the last couple of minutes. Right over Highway 34. This is a tornado now that is in progress. This is hitting areas like Chick-fil-A, the Thomas Crossroads, and there's a Kroger store right here near Creekwood. But we do have a tornado now in progress crossing over Highway 154 for sure. That is going to be approaching Peachtree City, which is a very populated area. This is also going to be likely a rain-wrapped tornado. So if you have any friends or family in this warning, please make sure that they are aware of this, getting to their safe place, away from windows, and on the lowest floor possible. Dangerous tornado right now heading towards Peachtree City. Velocities have been, again, strong for the last several minutes. Tornado might actually be moving to the northeast into that Kroger store, because there's a Kroger there. So it might be kind of occluding to the northeast a little bit. Yeah, we definitely have a tornado here. That is a big debris signature approaching Creekwood. This could be a strong tornado. I mean, the environment is not very favorable today for strong tornadoes, but this definitely could be a strong tornado. Right over Creekwood. Over the next few minutes, it will be approaching, it'll be going right along, if it stays on the ground, it'll be going right along Andrew Bailey Road, approaching Cowboys Construction, and the Andrew Bailey Ballpark is in the path of this. And there's also the Thomas Crossroads Elementary School that could be taking a hit from this tornado, which is right here. That school is like right about here. The Tasty Donuts in Sharpsburg, and the Taco Bell, and the HJ Wings and Things, and Crossroads Fitness are also possibly being hit by this tornado. We'll have another radar scan in a second, but this is a dangerous tornado right now that has dropped in the Peachtree City suburbs. There is a little bit of rotation still approaching Sonoya in Georgia. Once again, if you are just tuning in, tornado confirmed right now, approaching Peachtree City, Georgia, just south of Atlanta. The latest radar scan is coming in at any second. Which, if we still have a tornado, it's likely over Creekwood. Which, on the latest scan, if we have a tornado, it would be on the northeast side of Creekwood, and I'm not seeing as definitive of a debris signature. It looks like we had, the tornado looks like it occluded out. You can kind of see over the last few scans, it was moving more to the east and east-northeast, and it does look like it's occluded over the last few scans. So the tornado might have lifted. We probably still have debris that is in the atmosphere. That could include tree branches. That could be, you know, parts of buildings as well. So I would definitely stay away from, you know, stay away from windows and still stay on the lowest floor possible if you're in the tornado warning. Keep in mind that we still have other areas of rotation as well that are south of Peachtree that could also do something like what we just saw. So we need to keep a very close eye on that. Back over west of Atlanta, we still have mainly a wind risk, very broad rotation across this entire line. I'm not overly concerned right now about our tornado risk for Atlanta, but we're still keeping a close eye on things in case something does ramp up over the next few minutes. The warning never got upgraded to confirmed, but definitely was a tornado on radar. There are cameras in Peachtree, but it looks like they've already lost power in parts of Peachtree, so I'm going to see if there's anything that actually has power. There are actual cameras, though, in Peachtree, but a lot of them are currently out. And a lot of them are looking at the ground, so we actually have, like, no view of anything right now. But for whatever reason, every single camera is looking at the ground. I'm not sure if that's just a typical thing for these cameras or not, but there's one on the west side of Peachtree. If it has anything, I'll go to it. It's literally looking right now at the ground, but if the wind really starts picking up, we'll go to it. That's typical for those cameras? Okay, so I guess I just don't move them. Bottom middle of your screen, that's over in Hubbardville, Georgia, at the Crystal Falls Golf Course. Strong storms rolling in there. Got a little shelf cloud moving in. All right, this is the 1141 radar scan. Again, I'm not seeing a definitive debris signature anymore or a definitive area of rotation. It has broadened out a little bit over the last few minutes, but it looks like we at least had tornado damage back over near Highway 154, near Long Street and Creekwood. Unfortunately, we may have seen tornado damage near that Kroger or that Christian school there in Creekwood. And again, we could see this recycle and produce another tornado, so we need to keep a very close eye on it. And you can actually see on radar right now, we still have a hook and an inflow, so it might be recycling on the north side of Peachtree City. Waiting for the velocities to update here. Let's check quickly on Alabama. Back over near New Brockton, Alabama, north of Enterprise, we have 2 areas of rotation that are approaching Enterprise. Brief tornadoes are possible out of this. I'm honestly surprised we don't at least have a severe thunderstorm warning for this, but there is at least a couple areas of rotation right now approaching Enterprise. These are, again, your weaker variety, kind of on the broader side of things. Or not broader, but on the weaker side of things when it comes to a tornado. We're not really expecting a strong tornado out of that, but that is a storm to watch for. We also just got a new severe thunderstorm warning for Thomaston and Woodbury, and that is for 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds. Latest radar scan still showing a broad area of rotation on the north side of Peachtree City.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
Okay, we have now another tornado warning. This can be for Clayton, DeKalb, Fayette, Coweta, Henry, and Rockdale counties in Georgia. So another tornado warning here. I'm waiting for it to pop up. Okay, so this is going to be a long tornado warning. They think this storm could be tornadic for a while. This can be now going towards Riverdale, just south of Forest Park, south of Atlanta near Stonecrest. So if you are in this tornado warning, seek shelter, get away from windows, lowest floor possible, and get to an interior room of your home or building. Again, this is a dangerous storm that has already produced a tornado and may produce another one as it moves through the southern suburbs of Atlanta. Bottom left of your screen is inside this tornado warning. Just FYI. This includes a lot of people, by the way. This includes a population of 300,000. 500,000. 500,000 people are in this tornado warning. For those in Riverdale, Rex, Stockbridge, McDowell, Lovejoy, Hampton, Woosley, Fayetteville, Peachtree, Tyrone. Just south of the Atlanta airport, by the way. This is not far from the Atlanta airport. This is over 500,000 people are in this tornado warning. So if you have any friends or family in this warning, please make sure that you're at least alerting them that there is there's already been a tornado with this storm, and we might get another one over the next few minutes. We'll have a new radar scan in a moment. Again, our main area of rotation will be right over the north side of Peachtree. It's approaching Fayetteville. So Fayetteville, be ready for at least damaging winds, possible tornado. There's a lot of things in Fayetteville. I'm not going to name off every place, but if we had a tornado, it would be approaching the Ledgewood community, and as well as Maryland Acres and Fernway Estates. And there are some places like the Fayetteville Elementary School, the Hampton Inn Atlanta that's in the track of this, the City Cafe. There's also the United States Postal Service on the north side of town, and Michael's, which is a store that is in the path of this, and a Chuck E. Cheese. So if we do have a tornado, it'd be approaching those areas, also approaching the Cottonwood community, which about not even 15 minutes ago, like 10 minutes ago, we did have a tornado with this. Also, in Niceville, Florida, there is a couplet in the Niceville area. Where's Niceville? Let me look up Niceville. There was a little couplet, at least a little area of rotation. That's near Valparaiso, north of Destin Beach. There is a little bit of rotation here. It's going to be kind of over water, but it's near Dana Point, and it's going to be moving towards Freeport. So if you're back over in the Florida Panhandle, just a little heads up there. And then back over near Enterprise, again, rotation is still continuing right over the north side of Enterprise, Alabama. And we might have a tornado on this. Might have an unwarned tornado. Right over Fairfield Estates right now. We mentioned this a few minutes ago, but the Enterprise storm looks like we have a tornado over the northwest side of town. It's not really that impressive of a CC signature, but there's a tornado, it looks like, right there. It's a small little debris signature. So we have at least a small tornado right now that's unwarned on the northwest side of Enterprise near Highway 192, right along Bull Weevil Circle, approaching Willow Bend, Martin Heights, Oliver's Lake, Wooded Acres, and Shell Heights. So a small unwarned tornado right now near Enterprise. Okay, we're going to get a much better view of the velocities over the next couple of scans, but I am seeing a lot of different areas of convergence just to the southeast of Peachtree City, where there is rotation right now, so we need to watch that. It's approaching Harp, Marion, and McIntosh Village with a few areas of circulation. The main area that we were really watching for is the one near Fayetteville. This right here, that little hook and that inflow that we have. But it's starting to bow out quite a bit, which means our damaging wind threat will be increasing with this over the next 30 minutes to an hour. All right, next radar scan is going to be in a minute. I'm going to go back to the Enterprise storm. I don't know if we have a new radar scan. I mean, yeah, we literally have a tornado right now over Willow Bend. It's completely unwarned. We have an unwarned tornado right now in Alabama near Enterprise. Right over Willow Bend. It's a small tornado. It's probably weak, but it's a tornado. And there's no warning on this at all. Approaching Martin Heights, Indigo, and right on the north side of Enterprise in Alabama. And just to give you some perspective, this is near the 2x2 petting zoo. This tornado is going to be hitting along Mullins Drive. There are a few homes there. It's going to be approaching Hampton Inn Enterprise, Shane's Rib Shack, Mellow Mushroom Enterprise, and approaching Little Caesars near the Craft Bar and Grill. And also the UPS store might take a hit from this. There are a lot more homes in Martin Heights and as well Shell Heights that are in the path of this. You also have Donaldson Park, the Barrel Room and Kitchen and Bar that are in the path of this tornado. But again, we have a tornado here that's completely unwarned on the north side of Enterprise.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
Okay. Well, we've been talking about this. Dale and Coffee Counties, Alabama, you are now in a tornado warning. This is a tornado that's in progress on the north side of Enterprise. So you need to be in your storm shelter, basement, closet, or bathroom if you're in Martin Heights or Indigo. This is a relatively large tornado warning as well. It also includes Ozark, Newton, and Daleville. But this has been producing a tornado for almost 5 minutes now. We now have a warning, though. In and around Enterprise. Got another radar scan coming in. I'm going to wait for that, and then we'll go back to Georgia. So the tornado right now would be right over Martin Heights if it is still in progress. And it looks like it may have occluded. So the tornado may have just occluded before hitting the Craft Bar and Grill and the Mellow Mushroom Enterprise near the Hampton Inn. But we still at least have a little bit of debris that's still in the atmosphere. There's at least a slight bit of that over Martin Heights. We still have rotation with this. We could see another tornado drop going towards Allen Heights, Daleville, Newton, and Plainview in southeast Alabama. So continue to stay in your safe place if you are in that tornado warning. Back up towards Atlanta, we still have our tornado warning that's ongoing just south of Atlanta, Georgia for Fayetteville, Jonesboro, and just south of Riverdale. So if you are in this tornado warning, again, make sure that you are in your safe place. Get away from windows and get on the lowest floor possible. And interior room of your home or building. The rotation on the last couple of scans has been a little bit broader, but we still have some areas of circulation that could drop brief tornadoes. I'm not seeing any debris signature in particular right now, but there is at least still some rotation moving to the east. And it looks like they may have canceled the tornado warning out in front of this. There was a tornado warning for Hampton, Stockbridge, and McDowell, or McDonough. I don't know how to say that. In Rex, that was issued, and I'm not seeing it anymore, so they may have canceled the tornado warning. But they have the one still ongoing for Fayetteville and Jonesboro, and they might reassess in a few minutes whether they're going to continue that tornado warning. Also, a broad area of circulation approaching College Park, Forest Park, Lake City, Morrow, and Riverdale. So a small area of rotation there. It's not really tornadic right now, but it's something to watch for. We got a little hook and a little inflow right over Union City, approaching the south side of Atlanta near the Atlanta airport. So this is right in the vicinity of the Atlanta airport. Little area of rotation moving off to the east-northeast. This is the terminal radar site. And we have several different small areas of rotation right now in and around the Atlanta area, but nothing really significant enough here for there to be a tornado. Just some broad areas of rotation, one near Riverdale, another one north of Fayetteville, and then another one near East Point, approaching the south side of Atlanta as well. They have gone ahead and canceled the other tornado warnings, so we have no tornado warnings for now in Georgia, but we still have rotation on these storms. So we need to continue to watch this very closely, as the tornado threat is still existent here across Georgia. But a good idea to stay away from windows as these storms continue to roll through those areas. Back to our tornado warning in Alabama. Again, we did have a tornado for a few minutes near Willow Bend. Still have a couplet right now over the northeast side of Enterprise. And if we do have a tornado, it would be approaching the Johnson property, the Army Aviation Museum Foundation, Holly's Place, and Waffle House on the east side of Enterprise, back over near Level Plains and Daleville. The Fort Noble Sail Commissionary is also in the path of this possible tornado. As of the exact moment that we're talking, I don't think there's a tornado, but we did have one about 5 minutes ago, and it could recycle as it continues to move east. Hopefully that Waffle House is closed. It's debatable. Waffle Houses don't usually close. Usually open for everything. Unless it's a major hurricane coming through, that's the only exception. Thank you, Rebecca, for becoming a member. Welcome to the Velocities. Also, a huge shout out to Steve for becoming a member, and as well as Refried, Susan, Sussy, Mystic. We're all becoming members. Also, a huge shout out to Diana with the $50 super chat. I'm thinking Milton, Florida will be okay since it's already aren't in parts of Georgia. I think if anything, like, you know, the Florida Panhandle, for example, will be mostly just wind. I think Milton is all the way back over near Mobile, right? If that's correct, I mean, you're already pretty much done. It's just rain over there. But there is a storm that is east of Valparaiso that has a little bit of rotation right now. It's actually come together a little bit near Niceville. A little bit of rotation. It's gonna be moving towards New Home, Rock Hill, and Steel Church over the next few minutes. We need to keep an eye on that. Also, earlier this morning when we were sleeping, most of you were probably sleeping as well, we had an EF2 tornado confirmed from the National Weather Service of Lake Charles. A EF2 tornado occurred this morning. It was actually a particularly dangerous situation tornado warning, I believe, on this one. I could be mistaken. That might have been a different storm, but this one was over in Washington, Louisiana, in St. Landry Parish. That was at 4:20 a.m., by the way, Central Time. That was not the PDS tornado warning cell, but that was a different one. We actually did have a PDS tornado warning near Hattiesburg, Mississippi, though, this morning. That one's being surveyed. The early indication is that that was also at least an EF2 tornado. So we had a few tornadoes happen overnight. Unfortunately, we could not be live for it. It was just so late, man. I was already really tired, so. All right, back to Fayetteville. We do have rotation right over Fayetteville and Tunis Trace approaching Lovejoy. So just south of Atlanta, we have a couple areas of circulation moving to the east-northeast. If any of those areas of rotation intensify, we could get a new tornado warning for Stockbridge, Jonesboro, and eventually Porterdale. Covington and Conyers are also in the path of this. I'm terrible with pronunciations here in the last couple of days, but those areas are in the track of it. Pronunciations have been terrible the last 2 days for me. Don't you need green and red for rotation? Well, the thing is, with these tornadoes that we are seeing and what we've already seen, the rotation itself is such a small condensed area that you can't even see the winds that are actually going back towards the radar. So it's hard to spot, but like I've done this for so many years, I just know what it looks like. Also, I'm not entirely sure if this is a tornado, but we may have a tornado over County Line Road. That might be a tornado. It's not 100% certain on that one. PGA, can we verify that? Is there any way to verify this one? There might be a tornado right here near Fayetteville. Yeah, I think there's a tornado right now that's unwarned, approaching Lovejoy. That looks like a tornado to me. So we might have an unwarned tornado approaching Lovejoy. The velocities, according to the terminal radar site, actually line up pretty well with this storm. So I do think there's a tornado right now approaching Lovejoy, Georgia, just south of Jonesboro. And even if that's not a tornado, we at least have strong winds moving through this area, around 60 to 70 miles per hour. But to me, that looks like a tornado, and it's going to be fully rain-wrapped. It might just be a brief one, though. Nonetheless, that's approaching Lovejoy, Georgia. Let me see what we have here. It's approaching Lovejoy. There is the... Okay, so we actually have some stuff in this area. This tornado, assuming that this is a tornado, which I think it is, this is hitting the Eden Fresh Market. There's also the Taste of China that's in this area. There's a lot of homes in this area as well. Large community near... There's also the River's Edge Elementary School that is near this tornado. Hopefully they're in their safe place, because, that, I mean, again, that looks like a tornado to me. A lot more homes in the path of this. This will eventually approach Eddie White Middle School over the next few minutes. But again, to me, this looks like a tornado, and it's currently not tornado warned, so it might throw some people off guard, especially in schools and stuff like that. Also, we do have a new mesoscale discussion from the Storm Prediction Center. The primary focus for damaging winds and QLCS tornadoes appears to be in central into northern Georgia. So that's pretty much what we've been seeing here over the last 30 to 45 minutes. We will have another radar scan in a moment, but again, we do think that there is a tornado right now that is unwarned approaching Lovejoy. It will probably be a pretty quick one. The latest terminal radar site velocity scan has broader rotation, but nonetheless, a tornado is a tornado. And the damaging wind threat is also a little bit more significant in this area. We at least have damaging winds around 60 miles per hour. Let me go back down to Alabama. We still have a tornado warning near Enterprise. Oh man, that velocity signature is coming stronger. We got stronger rotation now developing near Allen Heights, east of Enterprise in Alabama. Still radar indicated rotation. They just updated the tornado warning. It's mainly for Newton, Highway 231, Plainview, and as well as Ewell. But the rotation's intensified, and we actually have a pretty good looking hook to this storm. So a tornado is definitely possible as this approaches Plainview and Newton. There might be a tornado here. I'm waiting to see if the CC radar updates here. I'm also going to go back to the Atlanta area right after we see this. Thank you, Batman, for the super chat. That's exactly what we're looking at right now. It's this southern Alabama storm. Okay, velocity's updated. They are still strong approaching Allen Heights. Just waiting for the CC radar to update near Munson Heights. And okay, so no tornado right now, but this one's not far from it. It might also be producing one at any second here. Approaching Allen Heights, Munson Heights, and Bowdoin Terrace over the next few minutes. I do want to go back to Georgia. Again, we've had rotation with these storms. So that... debris signature, that might have been a brief tornado there southeast of Fayetteville, but it looks like we're back to just broad rotation right now near Lovejoy. Several different areas of rotation near Jonesboro, approaching Stockbridge, Interstate 75, and Locust Grove. Continue to stay weather aware if you're in this area. I would stay away from windows as well if you're anywhere around Georgia or just south of Georgia in these warnings, because we've had spin up tornadoes. We had one just a moment ago, it looked like, back over west of Lovejoy. I'm like 95% sure that was a tornado, and we could see more here over the next few minutes. Riverdale, Georgia. We need to go back to Riverdale. Riverdale, Georgia. We have a area of rotation on the southeast side of Riverdale that is developing, approaching Morrow and eventually Sun Valley, Pinebrook Heights, Knowood, and Green Meadows. So we do have rotation on this cell that's been developing over the last few minutes, and actually it was strong there for a moment near Riverdale. I'm going to see if we had a debris signature on this, but we may have had, or we might have at least been close to having a tornado on this. This is going to be a tornado that would be rain-wrapped if we get one, but the velocities are a little bit more intense on that cell over the last few radar scans. And also we have a small little couplet approaching Thornton Estates, Hidden Hollow, and Lake Spivey Estates on the west side of Stockbridge. So we may have a tornado with this trying to develop. It would be approaching Stockbridge over the next 5 minutes. Good idea, again, to stay away from windows and on the lowest floor possible as these storms roll through. We really have a lot of different areas of rotation, and any of them could tighten at any time and at least produce a brief tornado. So thank you, Jamie, for the super chat. Afternoon, Max. Thanks for all you do. Best weather coverage on YouTube. I appreciate that. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Rocket, also for the super chat. How's Covington, Georgia look? I'll check real quick, and then we'll go back to the Alabama storm. Covington's literally in the direct path of this. I would expect damaging winds, and then possibly maybe a brief tornado in your area. For the record, like, lines of storms like this, a lot of the time do produce tornadoes that we do not see on radar, right? And we a lot of the time have tornadoes confirmed after the fact, and there's a lot more tornadoes in a lot of cases than we actually usually see on radar or even know about in general. We could end up having about 6 or 8 tornadoes here in and around Atlanta just over the next 20 or 30 minutes, and we might not know about them. I mean, again, it's just so quick, and a lot of the time they're weak, but it's definitely something to keep in mind. Back over in Florida, we have an area of rotation that's on the stronger side of things. This is back over near, what storm is this? Near Caryville, Florida. Caryville, Florida. It's going to be this up here. We may have a weak tornado attempting to develop near Baker's store. Velocities are a little bit stronger here over the last couple of minutes. It's, again, north of Interstate 10. We've had some rotation going towards Freeport, but it's been a bit broader over the last few minutes. Also, the rotation on the Alabama tornado warning, that's become a little bit broader over the last few minutes. That's good news. We've had a little bit of convection developing out in front of it, so that's limiting the tornado risk, at least for the time being. But there is still some rotation. We also have a hook echo. Might be something to watch for in the long term, but not nearly as concerning, at least for the time being, here on the Alabama tornado warning cell. Let's go back to Georgia. East of Columbus, we still have a wind threat occurring with a little bit of quarter-sized hail moving towards Highway 19 and Buena Vista. And we still have a severe storm west of Macon that is producing damaging winds. And then in and around Atlanta, Georgia, just south of Atlanta, we have an intense line of thunderstorms producing damaging winds. And there's also a potential for an embedded tornado or two in this line as it continues to push east towards Stonecrest. Also, we just got our latest Storm Prediction Center outlook for today. So the latest SPC outlook is out for the rest of today, and I honestly fully agree with this tornado outlook as well. But here's your latest outlook for today. So if you're in Tennessee, Kentucky, Alabama, for the most part, your severe weather risk is winding down. Unless you're on the very eastern side of those states, there's still a chance for a little bit of severe weather and also some excessive rainfall. On the other hand, we do have an enhanced risk of severe weather currently in place for North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia, where damaging winds and a few tornadoes are going to be a possibility. So continue to stay weather aware and have multiple ways to receive alerts. We still have a slight risk of severe weather in place that goes from New York City back to the Gulf Coast, where scattered damaging winds and a few tornadoes are still possible, and the marginal threat also goes into western Massachusetts. Our tornado risk has been downgraded further, but I also agree with this forecast. Right now, I think the greatest tornado risk is over the next 2 to 3 hours in South Carolina and Georgia. However, our tornado risk, as we've seen, has been a little bit more elevated even back over in Florida and southeast Alabama, where we've had a few storms rotating. And as long as we continue to see these storms a little bit more organized, it doesn't really take much for a tornado here. As long as they stay a bit more organized, I think that tornado risk will continue throughout the Florida Panhandle, southern Georgia, and also southeastern Alabama. There's also a low-end chance later this afternoon for a tornado or two back up in New York City, Virginia, and as well as North Carolina. But again, our primary concern for today is the damaging wind risk, which is a 30% probability from North Carolina back into central Georgia. So that is the latest outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. And then in about an hour, or actually not even an hour from now, in about 30 minutes to an hour, we should have our SPC outlook for tomorrow, which may go enhanced. We might have an enhanced risk of severe weather tomorrow in Oklahoma and Kansas. But we'll talk more about that later whenever it happens. Thank you, Jeremy, for becoming a member, and also Kyle for the super chat. We're going to talk more about what's happening Tuesday and Wednesday in our video later today. Thank you, Victor, for the super chat. We got to our safe place in Nunan based on your warning and the tornado that had already passed by us by the time the National Weather Service notified us. Thank you. No problem. Appreciate you tuning in. Well, I can help. Again, this is, I honestly think our live streams are so beneficial because of that exact reason. Like, we went live 30 minutes before things really ramped up, but we've had several areas of rotation, and it's still going, that have been producing tornadoes. Like, we saw tornadoes develop. We even had one unwarned in southeast Alabama, and I think that's why our coverage is just so valuable in a lot of cases. And speaking about tornadoes and such, we are starting to see tornado genesis happening again back over near Newton. So rotation is intensifying once again near Newton and Plainview, approaching Highway 31, just south of Ewell. That might drop a tornado. Again, it's peaking in terms of its rotation again here over the last couple of minutes. Did Max even go to sleep? I did go to sleep, yes. I did sleep. We got a massive severe thunderstorm warning in place in Florida. This was issued about 10 minutes ago, but I'm just noticing it. Huge severe thunderstorm warning for Chipley, Mariana, Panama City Beach, Santa Rosa Beach, mainly for damaging winds. There is a tornado possible label on this. We've had a few areas of rotation, but I'm not seeing anything right now that is imminently going to produce a tornado. But it's always a good idea to stay away from windows, lowest floor possible if you're in that area. Okay, next radar scan coming in a moment. Again, we may have a tornado trying to drop right now near Plainview and Ewell and Newton in southeastern Alabama. Continue to stay away from windows if you're in this warning, approaching Browns Crossroad and as well Snow Hill and Lewis over the next 15 to 20 minutes. They may extend the tornado warning if that rotation continues. We do have a little storm merger on the south side that's kind of nudging it a little bit, but it also might be overdoing it a slight bit. And watch this here as well near 5 points. This is the southern storm that's kind of merging with that initial discrete cell that we had, or semi-discrete cell. This one near 5 points is attempting to come together. We have a little area of rotation right over 5 points. That's going to be approaching Newton and Picknard. And then currently south and east of Atlanta, we have a strong line of thunderstorms rolling through. No severe storm warnings north of Atlanta, just mostly gusty winds and maybe a little bit of small hail. That's what it actually looks like right now. This is at the Chestatee Golf neighborhood. I just saw a golf cart going flying by. I'm guessing they were not aware of the severe weather that's happening here. I just saw a golf cart going flying by. There's definitely going to be lightning in the area. Winds are picking up as well. I'm going to go ahead and put this. You got all the cars leaving the golf course, too. People are leaving the golf course. They're out of here. Let me go to the 3-cam view and try to put this bottom. We'll put them bottom right. Bottom middle. We'll replace it with the other golf course. But yeah, this is another radar Omega camera there. North of Atlanta. People are out of there. I'm guessing they're not watching the max velocity stream. I'm guessing they just last second noticed storms were rolling through. For the record, by the way, I mean, I live in Florida. I have gone golfing before, and there's been instances where, you know, very suddenly I have to literally dart with the golf cart. Thunderstorms come rolling in. It's a very similar experience, I think, across the board whenever you're golfing. Actually, we just had another golf cart going flying. And then after this, I'm going to go back down to the south. You can see the golf carts coming in right now. Coming in from golfing. A little bit of scud as well here on the left. This is Chestatee Golf neighborhood, by the way, for those that are wondering. North of Atlanta. This isn't even in a severe thunderstorm warning, but you got all the people racing back to get their golf carts in. One of the most dangerous things when it comes to golfing is lightning, by the way. Lightning can easily strike your golf club if you're not careful. So good thing that they're going in now, but obviously the storms were in the forecast here today. I'm surprised people are even golfing today. Getting a report in chat in Roswell, Georgia, that we are currently getting some hail there. Stockbridge, Georgia, the rotation is intensifying again, just southeast of Stockbridge. Over the last few minutes, we still have an area of rotation southeast of Stockbridge that's approaching Highway 155, going towards Barrington right now. So rotation is once again intensifying on this storm. That'll be eventually approaching Porterdale. Bottom left of your screen, that is going to be a live shot there in Richardson? Yeah, Richardson, Georgia. That's right here. So this area of rotation is not far from that area. We also have several areas of rotation just on the east side of the terminal radar site, approaching Stonecrest and Lithonia. We need to keep a close eye on that too. We also have an area of rotation intensifying. I think that's the same one near Stockbridge. So that's the one intensifying. The rotations come together quite a bit. I wouldn't be surprised if they issued a tornado warning for Porterdale, Covington, or Conyers, just southeast again of the Atlanta metro. And then back to the Alabama tornado warning. We might have 2 tornadoes trying to develop.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
Going to Georgia in a second. We might have 2 tornadoes trying to develop right now. We got a strong area of rotation on the south side of Newton, and then we got another one right now right over Plainview. So that could be 2 tornadoes trying to drop right now. We may have one already on the ground. I don't know why the tornado warning was... Oh, that expired. They need a new tornado warning on this. Back over near Midland City, Newton, going towards the east side of Ozark. There's no tornado warning on this, and there are possibly... Okay, they got a new one. But we have a new tornado warning now for Dale County and Henry County. We may have 2 tornadoes trying to drop near Newton. Again, moving east, going to be crossing Highway 231 and approaching Midland City. So if you're in this area, you need to seek shelter, get away from windows, lowest floor possible, and get to an interior room of your home or building. There are 2 couplets on this storm, one of which is not currently in the pink polygon, but that one will probably be moving into the polygon anyway. I'm just going to let this radar scan go through, and then we're going to go to the Georgia tornado warning. The Georgia tornado warning is for Henry, Rockdale, and Newton counties. That is the one, I believe, near Stone Ridge, southeast of Atlanta. All right, so here's the latest velocity scan. And so main rotation is over Plainview, and the other one is over the east side of Newton. And radar hasn't updated, but I'm going to go back to that in a second for any debris signature. The new tornado warning is going to be for those in Conyers, Covington, Porterdale, just south of Lithonia, and south of Stonecrest. And rotation has been pretty strong over the last few minutes, and this is as of 3 minutes ago. Our strongest rotation was approaching Miller's Mill. It's approaching Kellytown, Barrington, Forest Lakes, and eventually going towards Salem Cove. Notice how many roadways are over here. We have a lot of people that are in this warning. Over 200,000 people are in this tornado warning. So if you have any friends or family here around Covington, Porterdale, or Conyers, make sure that they're getting to their safe place. Our strongest area of rotation is near Highway 155. This is live inside of the tornado warning right now in Richardson, Georgia on the Radar Omega camera. Rain's coming down at a pretty steady pace right now, just off to the north of this area of rotation. We'll see if we can see anything here over the next minute. The wind is eerily calm, but this is a little ahead of where the strongest winds are. We have a little convection just out in front of the line, so this is not necessarily where the line is quite yet, but it is approaching. Definitely some heavy rainfall here. Pretty trees. There are pretty trees here. I've never been to Atlanta, Georgia, other than connecting flights there. I'm going to keep that bottom left until the line of storms comes in. All right, let's go back to Alabama. I'm going to check and see if there was a tornado here. And radar has not updated still, so we don't know quite yet. D. Leon, Florida. D. Leon, Florida. We may have a tornado right now near D. Leon, Florida. That is right up here. I believe that's the one we're talking about. Southwest of Caryville. Where's Caryville? Yeah, this is the one. South of Ponce de Leon. We have a couplet right now just to the west of Hinson's Crossroad. There may be a tornado on this cell that is going to be moving towards Vernon. Just south there of, again, Caryville. Rotation's been a little bit stronger here over the last couple minutes. Maybe a brief tornado and possibly a weak tornado here there heading to the east. And I'm not currently seeing a tornado with this cell right now near Newton in southeastern Alabama, but continue to stay in your safe place near Headland and Newville. There is still rotation on that cell. We have 2 different couplets on that inside of the same tornado warning. Going back to the tornado warning here, southeast of Atlanta. Let's go back to the velocities. And we still have a small couplet approaching Barrington. It's north of Julia. If we do have a tornado with this, it would be approaching the Hampton Inn in Warner Robins. There's apparently a Buc-ee's in this area as well. Or is that... Oh, never mind. That's the wrong place. Never mind. That's not the right place. Let me go to Salem Cove, Georgia. Or Oxford, Georgia. Sorry. There's no Buc-ee's here. Or I don't think there is. I cannot get the exact locations here. But this is, again, east of Atlanta, approaching Salem Cove. West of Oxford. It's going to be going towards Conyers. There are a lot of neighborhoods here. I'm at least seeing that there's the Honey Creek Golf and Country Club that's in the track of this, and as well as West Forest, if we do have a tornado. And it would be approaching I-20. Here's actually a live shot right now. This is where the line of storms is approaching inside of the tornado warning. This is right over near Highway 138 in Richardson. The winds are now picking up in this area. And we may have a tornado just to the south of this camera. But the wind is picking up, and there's definitely some heavy rain here. This is currently approaching Abide a while, Slade's Mill, and there's also a Kroger in West Forest that is in the immediate path of this wind threat and potentially a tornado. The wind is definitely picking up right now. These trees are swaying. Winds have been changing directions a little bit too, which does give you an idea that there's at least some rotation. Some frequent lightning as well. Wind is definitely getting strong. This is, again, Richardson, Georgia, just about a mile to the north of our main area of rotation, but we've had other rotation in other spots that are in the general vicinity of this camera. Wow, the wind is still really strong here. We might have some power outages coming through here. Power outage is definitely possible. Going towards Porterdale, Covington, and Conyers. It's a good idea if you have flashlights, anything like that, and you're out in front of these tornado warnings or severe thunderstorm warnings, that you are ready for power outages. There are definitely power outage potential here with this line of storms. The wind is still very strong. The winds change directions a little bit initially, and they are still changing directions a little bit. So there could be a tornado in this area. If not, we at least have winds that are spinning in a broad area. I mean, the rain went from going left to right now to right to left. It's completely changed directions, it looks like. Crazy how fast these winds are, or not really fast, but at least how the winds have been changing directions here over the last few minutes in Richardson, Georgia. Things are starting to calm down a little bit. We'll keep it bottom left. We just got a huge severe thunderstorm warning back over in southwest Georgia and southeastern Alabama for 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds. Also, it looks like we have a tornado near Midland City. So a tornado is in progress right now near Midland City. We do have a debris signature. This is in Alabama on the tornado warning north of Midland City. Strong rotation right now approaching Blackwood and Kirkland Crossroads. That is definitely a tornado, though. We have a tornado in progress. This is going to be right along Country Road 59. It's just south of Lewis right now, so you need to be in your safe place if you are in this tornado warning. Approaching just north of Dothan for reference. Going towards Headland. There is unfortunately, in the path of this, right here, there is the Thompson Mobile Home Park. That is right here. Just to the east of where this tornado is. So there's a potential threat here for a mobile home park to take damage from this tornado. Which, again, this tornado right now is moving to the east-northeast, approaching the Thompson Mobile Home Park, County Road 14 as well. But we do have a tornado right now north of Midland City. River's Edge Campground is also in the direct path of this. I'm seeing a report in the chat that Grantville, Georgia just lost power. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I think we're gonna see a lot of power outages here. I know those winds look pretty strong, and especially with all the trees that we have in Georgia. I mean, those can easily knock down on the power lines and knock out power. So, unfortunately, that is probably gonna be a very common theme here over the next few hours. Let me go back down to Alabama. I was going to back to Georgia, but I need to check this again. Yeah, we definitely have a tornado right now. There is, again, a confirmed tornado via radar approaching Slavian Grove. So a tornado's in progress. This is right next to the Thompson Mobile Home Park. This is right next to the Thompson Mobile Home Park. And it's approaching Slavian Grove United Methodist Church. And it also may have just hit the Jordan's Barn at Kelly Creek. Ackerman Pond is also in this area, and this will be tracking towards Blackwood Church and Living Waters Counseling. And then long term, in about 10 to 15 minutes, this will go towards Newville. And back up near Newville, we had the Headland Municipal Airport, the Grill and Oyster Bar that is just south of Newville. And then in Newville, we have a Seniors Citizen Center, a farm inn, and a volunteer fire department that are in the track right now of a tornado. So you need to be in your storm shelter, basement, closet, or bathroom, again, if you are in this pink polygon inside of the tornado warning. Hey, Dibble, are you watching? If so, can you get me the link for... Or I'll at you. All right, latest radar scan. The tornado's gonna be right over Slavian Grove. And there is still a debris signature, so we still have a tornado right now going right over Slavian Grove near County Road 14 and County Road 73, that intersection. It will be approaching Blackwood and that church, Kirkland Crossroads, and then in about 10 to 15 minutes, Newville and Headland are in the track of that. Let me go back to Georgia. We do have the tornado warning that we did have has been canceled. So we no longer have a tornado warning in Georgia, but we still have a lot of different areas of rotation on the leading edge of this line. The main concern right now for those east of Atlanta is damaging winds, but embedded tornadoes will continue to be possible as this line moves to the east.
This is an urgent alert. A tornado is on the ground. Seek shelter immediately.
All right, tornado warning has been upgraded. We now have a observed tornado in Dale and Henry counties in Alabama. So if you are in this warning, please seek shelter, get away from windows, lowest floor possible, and get to an interior room of your home or building. This is going to include Newton, Headland, and Newville. About 13,000 people are in this tornado warning. The number, I think, will drop here because we just got it condensed a little bit. About 7,800 people are in this tornado warning, heading towards Headland and Newville. The tornado, again, was right over Slavian Grove, and it will be approaching Blackwood, Newville, and Headland. Rotation is a little bit weaker on the last couple of scans, but it's right over Slavian Grove, and it's going to be approaching Headland. Let me go back to here. There's no longer any tornado warnings in Georgia. The other one got canceled. So it looks like on reflectivity right now. This is a fully rain-wrapped tornado right now that's approaching Headland. So this is a fully rain-wrapped tornado that's going to be moving into Headland and Newville. So if it does stay on the ground, which right now it looks like it's weakened over the last few scans, it might be trying to recycle, it's going to be a fully rain-wrapped tornado. So there's no way to see it. Don't try to look outside for it. Let me check back in on Florida real quick. Not seeing anything crazy in terms of rotation in Florida right now. Mostly wind across this entire severe thunderstorm warning from Panama City Beach back to Chipley and Mariana. Back over in and around Atlanta, Georgia. Again, we still have mainly a wind risk. Might start to see the tornado risk increase a little bit again as this moves towards Madison, Eatonton, and Athens. This is a live shot back over in Baldwin County at the school district. And this is a lot further out to the east, but you'll notice the ominous skies right now. We do have a little discrete cell that's out in front of the entire line that is moving through this area. But generally, with these storms, we're not really talking about a whole lot of a tornado threat with these discrete cells. They haven't really been organized here so far today. We do have some new damage reports that are coming out, one of which is in Fayetteville. There is damage, or there's a report of damage of a downed tree on a home at Paces Crossing neighborhood, about a mile southwest of Fayetteville. And then also there is a tree down in a CVS parking lot on the intersection of Lower Fayetteville and Nunan Crossing Boulevard as of 11:30 a.m. or 12:30 p.m. excuse me, so about an hour ago. So a couple damage reports now coming out. This is the storm that tracked right through Peachtree City that produced that brief tornado back over near that Chick-fil-A. I can't remember the exact location, but it was just west here, Peachtree City. It was Creekwood, where we do think there was at least a brief tornado that was on the ground there. All right, latest velocity scan on the tornado warning in Alabama. Again, rotation is now approaching Headland and Newville. I'm going to see if we have any cameras here. I'm not sure if we do. See if we have a view of anything here, but this is approaching Headland and Newville. This will be approaching the municipal airport that's in Headland. There are a couple cameras, but they're mostly outside of the tornado warning. This is a view in Dothan right now. This is just to the south of this tornado warning on the Alabama traffic camera. The wind is picking up quite a bit. It is obviously very heavy rain in this area. Pretty much everybody today is going to see rain in the southeast. It's just a matter of you seeing severe weather at this point. All right, let's go back to live radar. This is the latest radar scan. Rotation, again, a little bit broader over the last few minutes. I don't think there's any more, at least a tornado here. Again, this was confirmed back about 5-10 minutes ago, but it has been occluding over the last few minutes. In Dothan, we actually have rotation right now. So right in the downtown area of Dothan, there is some rotation. Actually, let me go back to those cameras. There's a bunch there. There's legitimate rotation right now moving into Dothan. It's a broad area, but there's definitely some rotation here. Right over the town of Dothan, Alabama. After this convection out in front of it clears out, we should get a better shot here of a tornado. Going towards Smyrna, right over the downtown area of Dothan as well. Try to see if there's any view of anything here. Seeing a lot of live shots of rain. This is actually right on Shady Lane. The wind has picked up immensely here over the last couple of minutes. Much stronger wind on Shady Lane here in Dothan. No chasers today? We do not have storm chasers. I mean, I don't know of any. If I knew of any, I would have them on.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
But not to my knowledge of anybody chasing today. If there's anybody, I don't think they have live streams up. All right, we do have a brand new tornado warning. This will be for Early County, Georgia, Houston County, Alabama, and Henry County in Alabama. This is going to be, I believe, the storm over Dothan right now. And yes, it is. So a very populated area here in southeast Alabama that is now included in a brand new tornado warning. So you need to seek shelter immediately, get away from windows, lowest floor possible, and get to an interior room of your home or building. Again, rotation's been intensifying over the last few minutes, and honestly, we might have a tornado right now over the downtown area of Dothan, Alabama. There are about 65,000 people that are inside of this tornado warning, and the rotation is going right over the downtown area. So there is a potential tornado moving right over the downtown area, moving towards Brown Estates, Marion Estates, and Forest Park. Traveling right along Selma Street and approaching Route 84. So if you can, you need to be in your storm shelter, your basement, your closet, your bathroom. Get away from windows and get on the lowest floor possible. These are all very blurry, but there are 4 cameras here right in the downtown area. I'm going to be honest, I can't really see much right now, but I'm going to keep an eye on that. That's right in the center of Dothan. And there's also going to be one coming up near 431 on the east side. Also, for tomorrow, we just got an enhanced risk of severe weather added. This is going to be across Kansas. Pretty large slight risk as well and marginal risk. But enhanced risk of severe weather has been added for tomorrow. It was originally just a slight risk. There's a hatched area for strong tornadoes. So strong tornadoes are possible tomorrow. Damaging winds, large to very large hail, all in play tomorrow. We could have a little severe weather outbreak tomorrow before our big tornado outbreak that is likely on Wednesday. So that has just come in. So probably gonna be live again tomorrow. I think we're gonna be live every day for the next like week. It's crazy. We're gonna be live today. We'll be live tomorrow. We'll be live Wednesday. We'll be live Thursday, Friday. I don't know if it's ever gonna end. Don't know if it's ever gonna end. All right, we'll have another radar scan here in a second. Let me check back in on those cameras there. This is in downtown Dothan right now, where the strongest rotation is. It's definitely windy and a lot of rain coming down right now. There's 4 different cameras. I wish we could look at each one individually. New radar scans coming in right now. Let me go back and look at other camera that's off to the east. Okay, this is on the east side of Dothan. This is where the strongest rotation is right now. It's now on the east side of Dothan. Wind has really picked up. Wind has really picked up here on the east side of Dothan. There are a lot of people traveling right now. The velocity's really intensified here over the last couple of minutes. This is exactly where our strongest rotation is. You can see the wind is much stronger just up a little further north on 431. This is, again, on the east side of Dothan. It'll be moving out of the town here in a moment. The wind is really intense here. And there's some sort of line, maybe a cable line or a power line that's like in the middle of the screen that keeps going up and down. Wow, the wind is really intense here. I wish there was a better view of the tree line, but it's definitely very windy. It's on Webb Road, on the Alabama traffic cam. I mean, these people are inside a tornado warning and they're just driving like casually here. I don't even get it. Or like literally in the middle of a tornado warning and they're just driving. They don't care. This is what it looks like on radar though. The strongest rotation just moved over those cameras. It is now approaching Smyrna and it's about to move into the town of Webb. So if you're in Webb, get ready. This storm's coming right into your neck of the woods over the next few minutes. Rotation is going to be, I think it's going to be a little bit broader for the next few minutes because of all the rain we have out in front of it. But still wouldn't rule out a tornado as it moves east-northeast. Tornado warning does continue for a few more minutes near Newville and Headland. This one was the one that was confirmed via radar. So continue to stay in your safe place. Mainly wind, though, at this point on the northern storm. Not seeing as much rotation. And then further down to the south, we have a little bit of rotation back over near Madrid. That's moving towards Cottonwood and Sealy Springs. So we might get a brief tornado out of that as it moves east. Huge shout out to Razul with the very generous super chat. Driving up I-85 through Newman and as well as Atlanta. Your live streams are usually faster than the National Weather Service reports. Always appreciate the heads up. I'm glad I can help, and I really appreciate the generous super chat. Put some W's in the chat for Rasul, or Rasul. I don't know how to say your name, but appreciate it. Also, thank you, Chrissy, for the super chat. Thank you for all your hard work and fantastic coverage. Hope your AC is fixed. It is fixed. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you also, Horan, for the super chat. Just checking in to see if you ate that cold dinner from last night. I did not. I did not eat really anything last night, so had a few cheese curds and that was it. I might reheat it here later. Also, shout out to Michelle, Tony, Kayla, and Lynette with the Venmo donations. I really appreciate that generosity, Tony, with the Venmo donation. Last night in Middle Tennessee was terrible. We had a lot of wind. The tornado risk, I don't think, really panned out last night in Tennessee, but we did have a lot of wind. There were, like, maybe 2 tornadoes from last night. Here are the storm reports for those that are wondering from yesterday. We had a lot of storm reports. I mean, this is close to being derecho levels. I'm being honest. Like, I think this could have been a derecho back over in Indiana, Michigan, Eastern Illinois. We had over 460 wind reports, 200 hail reports, and 4 tornado reports, which those will probably increase. But those are pretty isolated. We had 1 in Michigan, 1 in Missouri, 1 in Tennessee, and 1 in southern Mississippi. We had a lot of like QLCS tornadoes, so I think more and more tornadoes will get confirmed as we go throughout the rest of today and tomorrow, once the National Weather Service does some surveys. All right, here's the latest radar scan. We'll see what the velocities look like. I'm going to go back to Georgia here in a second. Check back in on that. Okay, this is interesting. Apparently, the Storm Prediction Center mentioned that even a... Okay, all right, never mind. This is different, but... Oh, okay, this is interesting. Okay, so for tomorrow's risk of severe weather in the Great Plains, the Storm Prediction Center has mentioned that a slight risk has been maintained in Oklahoma and Texas, but an increase in the categorical probabilities is possible. They could even upgrade it to an enhanced or moderate risk of severe weather tomorrow. So just a heads up, that is the wording that they used in the SPC Outlook. It's currently a slight risk for like Oklahoma and Texas, but if for some reason the environment does become more favorable for storms to actually fire, we actually could have an enhanced or moderate risk of severe weather for tomorrow in place. So that's interesting. Also, the velocities on this storm have become weaker over the last few minutes. Just continue to stay in your safe place if you're near Columbia, Ashford, or Webb. If the velocities intensify again, we'll definitely let you know. They've been a little bit broader here over the last few minutes. We got a lot of areas of some like broad rotation right now, just off to the south of Vernon and east of Vernon. Might see a brief tornado come out of the storm here in the Florida Panhandle. Mainly near Redhead right now, moving towards Crystal Lake. Got a little area of rotation there. It's going to be moving towards Highway 231, south of Chipley and north of Panama City Beach. There's also some broad rotation just offshore near Panama City Beach, moving towards Panama City. We'll have to watch for that as well. All right, I got to go for just a second. I'll be right back. Give me one second. All right. Going back to the north, we're going to go back to Georgia. Yeah, we still have an intense line of thunderstorms moving across Georgia right now. Again, our main concern right now is damaging winds. Tornadoes are still a possibility with this line as it continues to move towards Athens, just north of Macon as well, and near Eaton. We actually have a little area of rotation kind of bulging out of this line here near Monticello that is moving in the direction of Eaton, just to the northwest of Milledgeville. So I'll have to watch this cell closely. Again, that's going to be moving towards Shady Dale and eventually going towards Highway 129. So again, a little area of rotation there. We'll have to watch that closely. Back over near Rutledge and west of Madison. Mainly a wind risk as of right now. We're keeping an eye, though, on the tornado threat as that continues to move east. They do have a tornado possible label on this, so we'll be keeping a close eye on that line. Back over near Macon. Mainly a wind risk right now. I wouldn't be surprised if a small-scale tornado threat starts to develop near Macon over the next hour. Mainly seeing a surge of wind approaching Bolingbroke and north of Reynolds. And then the line of storms back over through Perry and Americus, that's mostly just gusty winds right now, so nothing really too crazy out of that activity. And then we still have our tornado warning east of Dothan with some broad rotation right now approaching Columbia, north of Gordon near Ashford. So if you're in this tornado warning, continue to stay in your safe place. We may end up getting a warning here in Florida here soon if any of these storms actually intensify. Which this one right here actually near Jacob City. Got a little couplet right now approaching Jacob City and Highway 231. So a little velocity signature. We got a little hook on this cell as well. Just waiting to see if we have a debris signature on this. But there might be a small tornado trying to develop near Glass, Waddles Mill, and Jacob City. I'm not seeing anything here that looks like a tornado, at least on the correlation coefficient, but we'll keep watching it closely. And then again, a significant round of damaging winds currently is approaching Crystal Lake and also approaching areas south of Wasu. That's probably around 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. It'll also be going towards Lynn Haven and as well as Panama City Beach. So continue to stay away from windows if you're in those warnings. Also, thank you, Chrissy, for the super chat. I appreciate that. Also, shout out to Leah with the 10 gifted memberships. I really appreciate that. If you got a gifted membership, make sure to thank Leah in the chat. Thank you, Cassandra, Jess, and Michelle, all for the Venmo donations. And thank you, Gabby, for the super chat. Eastern West Virginia today. It should be mostly wind, but low tornado risk. There's so many funny town names. There's also a lot of town names that I can just not pronounce at all. So. By the way, I'm seeing people talking about the Buc-ee's, which was from like an hour ago. Make sure your time at the top right of the screen is within about 20-30 seconds of your clock, because otherwise you are really behind in the stream. Just click the live button at the bottom left and you'll be fast forwarded to what the stream is actually right now. There are people still talking about Buc-ee's, and the last time I mentioned the word Buc-ee's was like an hour ago. Time frame for Kansas City tomorrow. Again, I'm gonna have a video later today talking about it. The video will be out like 4 probably Central Time. So we will have a video later today talking about all about the risk of severe weather for tomorrow. If we, for some reason, are live for longer than I expect and we don't have a chance to make a video, we'll have one for sure tomorrow morning. So we'll have a video to some extent, either tonight or tomorrow morning. But I'm going to try to get one out today because honestly, tomorrow looks pretty concerning. So, and then Wednesday looks concerning too. We have a couplet right now developing approaching Haleburg in Alabama. Another area of rotation going towards Haleburg that'll eventually go to Bluffton and Blakely. We may get a tornado warning on that. The rotation's become a little bit stronger over the last couple of minutes, just northeast of Dothan. Thank you, Wayne, for the super chat. I appreciate that. What about Huntsville? If you're talking about Huntsville, Alabama, you're not going to see anything today. The severe weather risk is already done. We have more damage reports coming out. We got a new one east of Nunan in Georgia on the east side. This is in Coweta County, Georgia, that there are 4 trees currently down along Lower Fayette Road near Shenandoah Boulevard. And then additionally, we have a new damage report near Opelika in Alabama. There's trees down along Highway 280, and there's also a ping pong ball-sized hail report from earlier on that supercell that developed at the very beginning of today's live stream. So, some new reports coming out there. What camera is this? Rubin County, do I have this? Do not. This is back over in Rubin County on the Radar Omega Cyclone port at the high school. Got a line of storms that's going to be rolling in, but look at all the fog here. a ton of fog out in front of this segment of storms. Some gusty winds are going to be possible in this area. We've actually seen that a lot here in the forest here of northern Georgia. I saw it earlier, too. North of Macon, Georgia, we still have some broad circulation near Monticello that we're keeping a close eye on. And nothing tornadic as of right now, but something to watch as that continues to move to the east towards Greensboro into eastern Georgia. Again, our most elevated tornado risk over the next few hours is mainly across eastern Georgia and South Carolina, with QLCS tornadoes being possible, but we are still monitoring the potential for a lower tornado threat back over in southeast Alabama and southwest Georgia. We do have, again, a little area of rotation near Halesburg approaching Blakely, and then also another area of much broader rotation near Columbia. And I'm going to be honest, I think this tornado warning will probably be canceled in the next few minutes. So it does not look nearly as concerning as before. By the way, if you guys do have any photos or videos, you can at me on Twitter, at MaxVelocityWX. I'm trying to pull up a photo. I see one. For some reason, it's not popping up on this end. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to find somebody sent a photo from Dothan, but I can't pull it up for some reason. Just try to generically look for this. Okay. All right, I guess I'm just imagining things. Never mind. All right, back to live radar. Thank you, Jody, for becoming a member. Also, shout out to Jen with the super chat. Thank you for being live today. We appreciate it. No problem. I honestly didn't think we were going to go live today, but I think conditions barely warranted it enough for us to go live. I mean, we had a very populated area, have a couple of tornadoes near Atlanta, and we've also had a couple of tornadoes even in Alabama. So it's been interesting. There's been a lot of damaging winds so far. I mean, this severe weather risk, again, continues throughout most of the afternoon. It really does not wind down anytime soon. We still have a large enhanced risk of severe weather in place from Georgia all the way back up into North Carolina. And then the slight risk of severe weather goes all the way into New York City. It's a very large area. So we're going to have plenty of severe weather this afternoon. It should stay scattered. It's not going to be as widespread as yesterday, but scattered damaging winds, large hail, and maybe even a couple of tornadoes will be possible over the next several hours. So definitely be ready for that. All right, I'm pulling up a new camera. We got Baldwin County. It's coming up. That slot 2, we'll do that. All right. Yeah, the entire state of North Carolina essentially in a risk of severe weather today. Same thing with South Carolina, too. All right, let me go and pull this up. So for those that are just tuning in, once again, we have a lot of severe weather coming up. Obviously, today is what we're covering for a little bit at least. We have that enhanced risk of severe weather in place in the southeast. But I do want to talk a little bit more about tomorrow while we have a quick second, and as well as Wednesday. Tomorrow, we now have a enhanced risk of severe weather in place in central Kansas. The Storm Prediction Center has already mentioned that a enhanced or moderate risk of severe weather could be issued to basically this entire region I just outlined if confidence increases in storms initiating. That is the biggest question mark as of right now for tomorrow. But the odds of a live stream tomorrow are increasing quite a bit. They have put out a hatched area for tornadoes in central Kansas, so strong tornadoes are possible. Now, on Wednesday, this is looking to be a much more significant and robust threat of severe weather. A full-blown tornado outbreak does appear more likely. So This entire area, we need to be really vigilant on Wednesday. We are going to be live pretty much all day Wednesday covering this risk of severe weather. I do think a moderate risk of severe weather will be issued at least to the mid-Mississippi River Valley, but a high risk of severe weather is definitely a possibility if confidence increases that we are going to be seeing, again, a full-blown outbreak, which right now it looks like we're going to. It's a very favorable environment right now on Wednesday across the Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, and back into the Mississippi River Valley. So please make sure if you're anywhere in this area that you are ready for Wednesday. Just make sure you're basically preparing in the same way that you're prepared here over the last couple of days for the severe weather that we've seen, and have multiple ways to receive alerts, because it's going to be a very busy next few days. We're going to be live, I think, every day between now and at least Thursday. Currently on Thursday, our risk of severe weather stretches from Dallas-Fort Worth back into Ohio and Pennsylvania. We should be live every day. I don't see us not being live. The only reason why we would not be live tomorrow is if the severe weather threat starts on Wednesday in the early morning hours, which I don't think it will. But that was the one thing that was a little bit more of a concern when it comes to live streaming. So, but yeah, I honestly think Wednesday is just going to be, again, a full-fledged outbreak. It's going to be a very long day. The HRRR only goes out right now to early morning on Wednesday, so we don't have like a really good grasp. But look at the tornado environment right now. This is for tomorrow. Look at the tornado environment in the central and southern plains. These tornado parameter values are really high. Like, this is a very favorable environment for tornadoes. But the question is going to be, will tornadoes fire? I have not seen something like this in a long time. We have really high tornado parameter values all across central Oklahoma tomorrow evening. I'm gonna pull up a sounding here. It's just extremely favorable. Extremely favorable for severe weather. But again, for tomorrow, the reason why the risk is not higher right now is because we do not exactly know if storms are going to fire here. If they do fire, it's going to be a big day. This is the, again, significant tornado parameter values on Weather Bell. Yeah, like, the values being well over 10 on here, which is more of a bug than anything, but like the values being this high is just crazy. We've not seen this at all this year, by the way. We've not had values this high on significant tornado parameter values for any day this year. So I'm not saying, again, we're going to see tornadoes or a tornado outbreak tomorrow, but it's possible if storms initiate. The HRRR, for reference, if we go into tomorrow night, really did not show much firing up here tomorrow night. It had it mostly off to the north, and maybe a line of storms forming after sunset, or after midnight, I should say, with, you know, damaging winds being the main concern. But yeah, this is bananas. And then for reference, for Wednesday's significant tornado parameter values, and they stay high tomorrow night. And then Wednesday, just look how large of an area we're talking about on Wednesday for a favorable environment for tornadoes. The main area will, I think, be in the lower to mid-Mississippi River Valley, but it also stretches up into parts of the Midwest. And then by Thursday, that threat of tornadoes will continue. We'll probably have another significant day of severe weather on Thursday back over in Arkansas, Texas, Oklahoma, and even back into Kentucky. So, yeah, we'll basically be live every day. It's going to be busy. Huge shout out to Gary with a very generous $100 Venmo. W's in the chat for Gary from Sionia, Georgia. I don't know if I'm saying the name right still, but I appreciate the Venmo donation. Really do appreciate that. Tornado warning still does continue east of Dothan. Again, rotation is mainly south of Columbia. It's been a bit broader over the last few minutes. We've had a little bit of a storm merger kind of trying to happen on the north side here over the last few minutes. This could cycle again and try to produce a tornado as it moves into western Georgia towards Blakely, Arlington, and Colquitt. Again, generally the risk here is on the lower side of things. We'll keep a close eye on it. Far north of Macon, we are still watching a line of thunderstorms that is moving east. That is going to be approaching the Eatonton, Madison, and Watkinsville and Athens area of Georgia. Mainly a wind risk. We still have some broad rotation that's going to be approaching Eaton, so we still need to watch for a low-end tornado risk as this continues to move east. And we also have more damage reports coming out now of Atlanta, Georgia. Trees are down on a residence with structural damage on 1500 block on Alvarado Way. That's as of about 30 minutes ago or so. And another damage report over in Thomas Crossroads. An off-duty National Weather Service employee is reporting a downed tree on a power line along Lower Fayetteville Road. So that is another reason why we have some power outages in the area. And a 54-mile-per-hour wind gust was reported in Slocum, Alabama. So that's a new report. New severe thunderstorm warning just issued for those in Albany, Dawson, and Highway 91 here in southwestern Alabama, or southwestern Georgia, excuse me, for damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour. There's also a tornado possible label on this activity. The purple alert is a tornado warning. I am thinking about changing our color scheme in the future, so just red. But what I want to do is just make our own like radar like system where our warnings will just correspond to the type of warning that we have. So like red, for example, would be a normal tornado warning. Pink would be a PDS. Purple would be like a tornado emergency. I think that'd be way easier to like use for, you know, an audience. So might be something we consider here in the future. We also just got another massive severe thunderstorm warning for Dawsonville, Bainbridge in Georgia, and then also for some areas like Mariana, Quincy, west of Tallahassee, Florida. That is for damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour. And there's also a tornado possible label on this activity. And really not seeing any rotation right now on the southern edge of this line, but after all of these storms merge here, we should see a little bit more of an organized threat for both wind and perhaps tornadoes as well, as this moves eventually towards Tallahassee. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that. Tornado warning has now been canceled, or has not been canceled, but has been let to expire near Dothan. So we no longer have a tornado warning, but we still have plenty of severe thunderstorm warnings in place, and we still have an area of rotation southeast of Columbia that came from this tornado warning that we're going to have to still keep an eye on as it tracks to the east. As a reminder, I'm not going to be live all day. We'll be live here probably at least for another hour or so, maybe a bit longer, depending on how storms evolve here. But we will have a video around 4 o'clock Central Time today. It's going to be a very in-depth video talking about our major severe weather threat tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. It is going to be a very active week, so you're going to want to make sure that you are subscribed to the channel and click the bell icon so you're notified when we have our next live streams. It'll, again, be very busy, I can assure you that. And then also, we will have a video tomorrow morning. We will have a live stream tomorrow night, more than likely, and then we'll be live on Wednesday and Thursday. So, live basically every day. Hey, Realtor, for the $50 super chat, I appreciate the generosity. I have family in the panhandle of Florida, West Georgia, and Central Georgia, and north of Atlanta, and you always cover us so well. We are grateful. I'm glad I can help, and thank you for the very generous super chat. By the way, not related to weather, but I do want to give you guys a heads up. This is the last day. 9 p.m. Central Time, I think, is the cutoff. If you want to pick up any sort of 1 million subscriber merch at shopmaxvelocity.net before it is gone forever. This is one of the best ways to support our channel and what we do here, being able to have all the storm chasers we have and a lot of the other equipment that we have as well. We have, again, signed hats available, t-shirts, mugs, and stickers, and a lot more. We are down to the last 50 signed hats that are available. We are only selling 500 signed hats, and then they're gone forever for 1 million subscribers. So if you want to pick one of these up, it is shopmaxvelocity.net or the top link in the description below. Again, today is the last day to get any 1 million subscriber merch, and then it's gone forever, and it will never come back. And the signed hats, again, are limited quantity, and we only have 50 left, and then they're gone. So check that out. Again, shopmaxvelocity.net. The link is top of the description, and it's also pinned in the chat. Also, we have a new mesoscale discussion for those in Florida and southern Georgia. Strong heating ahead of the convective line should promote a continued damaging wind threat. That's going to be for southern Georgia and as well as the Florida Panhandle. Could also be a couple of tornadoes with this as well as it continues to move east. Thank you, CJ, for the Venmo donation asking about rotation southwest of Athens. Yeah, there's a small area of rotation near North High Shoals, but it's not enough for me to be too concerned about this. Maybe a low-end tornado potential as that moves towards Athens. honestly, the storms that are a little bit further down to the south are not really concerning, but they are slightly more concerning when it comes to rotation. It's still broad rotation in general, but the further south we go in this line, it's a lot more organized. There's not really a whole lot of convection that's going to mess up the storms out in front, the line of storms here. We have a lot more convection to the north, which could kind of hinder the development of that rotation back up near Athens. But I would say more than anything, wind is the main concern. Can't rule out a brief tornado, though, around Athens, Georgia here over the next half hour. We'll stay zoomed out for the moment. Thank you, Eric, for becoming a member. Welcome to the Velocities. How's Atlanta? Atlanta's clearing out. The most significant severe weather has already moved through your area. So Atlanta, Georgia's done. The only thing that's really left there is a little bit of rain, a little bit of cloud-to-cloud lightning. And then in addition to that, there will be some damage in the area from the storms we had earlier. So some cleanup will be in progress today in those areas. We are beginning to see a few storms firing up over in South Carolina and western North Carolina out in front of the line. The main concern with these cells will be some gusty winds, small hail, and lightning. Not anticipating a whole lot of a tornado risk out of this activity right now, but might be something to watch for later this afternoon. Here's what the future radar looks like for the rest of today for those over in the mid-Atlantic. So this is right around 3 o'clock or so. There will be storms continuing to fire up anywhere from New Jersey and Pennsylvania back towards South Carolina. A weakening line of thunderstorms will move through central South Carolina by the mid-afternoon hours. By 4 to 5 o'clock, storms continue to move through North Carolina, Virginia, and Maryland. We could have a slightly more localized and elevated risk for damaging winds and even a tornado in Maryland, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania late this afternoon into the early evening hours, so that'll be something to watch for. And then eventually by 8 to 9 o'clock, the storms will continue to move through areas like New York City, New Jersey, Maryland, Delaware, Virginia. And then after about 10 o'clock, the line of storms, for the most part, is moving offshore. Maybe some gusty winds continuing in Connecticut and as well as Rhode Island. Back over in the southeast, the line of storms will continue to push east throughout the next several hours. The HRRR has this pretty weak throughout the rest of the afternoon, but I don't think it's going to be this weak. I think mainly damaging winds for northern Florida, southern Georgia. And then by the late afternoon and early evening, things are really fizzling out for most of Florida. So if you're in Florida, the main concern, again, is really over the next few hours, and then we're going to be kind of, winding down, I think, after about 5 or 6 o'clock. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning for Macon, Georgia. We actually have rotation right now over Byron. So there is a little area of rotation near Byron, approaching Warner Robins. There's a Buc-ee's in the area here near Macon, going towards Gordon, McIntyre, Jeffersonville. So be alert. 60-mile-per-hour winds are possible, and there's also a potential for a tornado with this as it tracks east. How's Indiana? Indiana is clear for the day. The next chance for severe weather will be Wednesday. Thank you, Natalie, for becoming a member. Buc-ee's, never heard of it, bro. This guy's name is Bucky, and he just said that. Yeah, no strong couplet yet, but the rotation again is intensifying over the northwest side of Byron. We actually have a little bit of rotation near Powersville and Miami Village too. They're just not as strong, but we need to watch this closely as it continues to move east. By the way, do you guys like this transition now? When I go between the two, it used to be like, I don't know, kind of like a swirling thing. This is, I think, cleaner. Do you guys like that? Like the transition between the two like things, like going from 3 cameras to the 1 camera view? I think it's way more clean and it just looks better. For those that watch these streams all the time, you probably know what I'm talking about. I think the transition was really messy before. Much better, much more clean. All right, cool. I thought I was the only one that thought that was crazy. Thank you, John, for the super chat. How's Columbia, South Carolina look in the next couple of hours? I think the storms in like Columbia are mostly going to be wind. Again, maybe a brief tornado, but I think the line of storms will be weakening to some extent by the time it gets to Columbia. So it should be as significant in those areas. Might be dealing with a windbag event over here in Panama City. As of the last few minutes, we actually had a 50-mile-per-hour wind gust in Biltmore Beach, which is just off to the west of Panama City. Good news is I'm not seeing any rotation right now in Florida, but we are still talking about a more significant wind risk. It's mainly north of Panama City, though. It's really going to be this core of wind here near Lynn Haven, approaching Bluntstown. If you're over in Tallahassee, definitely be ready for a damaging wind risk. I think the tornado risk will stay low here along the Gulf Coast, but definitely not zero. Rotation's been a bit weaker as well near Blakely, which is good news. Right now, the main concern for a tornado is actually near Macon. Again, rotation's been intensifying a little bit here over the last few minutes, approaching Soft Key and Interstate 16, just northwest of Warner Robins. So again, we'll stay live at least for a little bit longer, just in case this does something, because I do think this has a chance to produce something. I'd say it's a bit lower than the storms in the Atlanta area that we had earlier, but it's definitely possible. Hey, Wheelie for the super chat. Hey, if you got a clean feed and you go live for storm chasing, you're definitely welcome to reach out. All right, we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning. Pretty large area. This will be an extension of the warning that we currently have near Athens. Athens is not included in the, or is still included in the current warning, but areas out in front of it, not in a severe thunderstorm warning for now. But if you are along Interstate 20 near Greensboro, Crawfordsville, Norwood, Warrenton, Sparta, Crooked Creek, or Union Point, your threat right now is damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour, and there's also a tornado possible label on this activity. Main wind threat right now is near Eatonton. Why are there 2 tons in this? Near Crooked Creek in Greensboro. There's still a little bit of broad rotation on the leading edge as well, and that'll continue to move east right along I-20. So take it slow on the roadways if you're near I-20 and you're going to be running into that severe storm. Our main concern right now is near Macon, Georgia. We still have a little bit of rotation north side of Byron that is approaching Interstate 16. And there's still a little bit of rotation as well west of Warner Robins. Got a new radar scan coming in, so we'll check out and see what this looks like. A ton of tons. Literally, a ton of tons. All right, latest velocity scan. Rotation slightly broader now, approaching Soft Key, but it's also a little bit stronger on the other couplet that is approaching Bonaire and Warner Robins in the Robins Air Force Base. So I'd be staying away from windows, lowest floor possible if you're anywhere in this severe thunderstorm warning. Tornado threat definitely exists here. Thank you, James, for the super chat. Thank you from Elkhart County, Indiana. Your timely advice enabled us to get our puppies to the basement, one of those areas of rotation right over our neighborhood. We just got our power and internet back. Well, I'm glad you got your internet and power back, and hopefully you stayed safe there. Getting a report of a possible roof collapse to a school back over in Dothan, Alabama. Okay, we have a big report here. Dothan, Alabama, that's where we had a possible tornado go right over town. There is a report coming out that there's students injured when a roof tumbled at the Dothan Prep Academy. That is where we had a possible tornado. And unfortunately, we were talking all about that when it was happening. I think we gave a pretty good call out on that, but unfortunately, I don't know if the tornado warning was quite enough. Also, new damage reports coming out of Slavian Grove. Power lines and trees are down in that area from a tornado that hit earlier. And then also in Newton, there are more powers and trees down on Highway 123 and CR 134. But yeah, once again, back over in Dothan, if we go back in time here, I'll show you guys. The velocities were a little bit stronger when this went over Dothan. That's what it looked like right over Dothan. We may have had a tornado right over the downtown area. The winds were pretty strong when this came through, and then it weakened over the east side of town. I don't know if I can look it up on the map here. I don't know if that's it right there. I'm not sure if that's the Prep Academy, but if that's it, that's a little bit further north of the rotation. But fortunately, we are getting reports of a roof collapse there from a possible tornado, if not just high winds. All right, once again, velocities are increasing east of Byron. Possible tornado risk right now heading towards Interstate 16 south of Macon, southwest of Gordon. Again, no tornado confirmed with this as of right now. No debris signature, but we're keeping an eye on it in case it does go tornadic. I'll have another radar scan in a moment. Let me go back to this. There we go. Shout out to Cindy and Sunny Faith for becoming members. Welcome to the Velocities. In Warner Robins, lots of electricity coming into town. Lots of thunder and lightning for sure with this. But not even just that. I mean, there's plenty of wind and maybe even a tornado attempting to develop right now. We are starting to see a little bulge coming out of this line. A little inflow over Soft Key. We might get a tornado warning here in a second. That rotation's intensifying quite a bit. Just east of Byron, approaching Interstate 16, Jeffersonville, Ripley, Fitzpatrick, Myrick's Mills. You are all in the path of a possible tornado here. Rotation's really intensified over the last few minutes. That's the main area of rotation, too. So just north of the Warner Robins and on the north side there of the Robins Air Force Base, that's where it's approaching right now. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so if we have a tornado, which again, one might be trying to drop right now, it would be, again, just north of Warner Robins. It's approaching the Middle Georgia Regional Airport. So the Middle Georgia Regional Airport right here is where that rotation's about to go right over. There's also a Kohl's Distribution Center and the Central Fellowship Christian Academy and Smiley's Flea Market, all in this area, right where the rotation's approaching. So it's approaching the airport right now. Also, EF1 tornado has been confirmed from yesterday, I believe, in Stark County, Indiana.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
And there's your tornado warning. So they have gone ahead and issued a tornado warning. This is going to include the north side of Warner Robins, Centerville, Jeffersonville, Fitzpatrick, Ripley, Huber, and Marion. So get to your tornado shelter, basement, closet, or bathroom. Get away from windows and get on the lowest floor possible if you are in this tornado warning. This is going to be for Peach, Twiggs, Bibb, and Houston counties in Georgia. And again, this is quickly approaching the airport. We actually have two areas of circulation now that are really becoming pretty defined right now. Both of them approaching Soft Key. We got two areas of rotation approaching the north side of Warner Robins, approaching the Middle of Georgia Regional Airport. Okay, so that's where it's currently approaching. Also, this is from yesterday. This is one of the HAZ cams back over in Lebu, Louisiana. Tornado damage actually here on this camera right now. There was some tornado damage in this area. Just throwing it out there. I was going to show you guys that earlier. Completely off topic, but just want to show you guys. Let me see if there's any cameras down here near Warner Robins. Once again, if you're just tuning in, this is near Warner Robins, Georgia, just south of Macon. We may have a tornado here approaching the north side of Warner Robins near Centerville. Velocities are very strong on radar. We could have a couple of different tornadoes trying to drop right now. There are cameras here, by the way. I just don't know if any of them are online. We might be losing power here, too. There's one camera coming up that will have a view of this, so once that happens, I'll pull it up. Oh, right now, this is live, right in Warner Robins. This is north side of Warner Robins. Wind is very strong right now, so we definitely have strong winds moving into the north side of Warner Robins. This is the southern area of rotation, by the way. That's where this is. Anxiety for the 5 get to memberships. Appreciate that. If you got to get to membership, make sure to thank her in the chat. Let me go back to live radar. So again, two areas of rotation. One over the north side of Warner Robins and the other one near Walden. And if we have a tornado, it's going to be rain wrapped The CC radar has not updated yet. Now it just did. Not seeing anything confirmed right now, but the strongest winds are approaching Honey Ridge Plantation, Alberta, and Highway 129, and this will be crossing into a bit more of a rural area and then approaching Huber and Interstate 16. There is a camera coming up right here that's going to be right next to where this really strong wind area is, so I'm going to pull that up once it comes in. Currently, the radar is estimating velocities near almost 85, 90 miles per hour on the northern couplet that we have just south of Walden. The two areas of rotation, the southern one's really in the more populated area. This one's right now over Danes Meadow and Honey Ridge Plantation, and it's about to cross 129 in the next 60 seconds or so. This is the other camera that's right along 129. The wind is beginning to pick up. We're about to see the impacts, I think, over the next few minutes. There it goes. Here's the wind coming right in. So this is the RFD surge and perhaps a tornado in the vicinity here. The wind is really starting to pick up now. And it's really picking up now. Very strong winds, a bunch of people driving. So far, the wind began by moving... Let me get my pen here. The wind kind of started this direction. Now it's moving more this direction. So there's definitely rotation in the area. Definitely trying to see if we have a tornado here. The winds are circling. If we had a tornado, it would be back there somewhere. Why are there so many people driving in a tornado warning? Some of these people were probably just caught off guard, honestly. And the camera may have just gone out. So power may have just been lost there on the north side there of Robbins Air Force Base. Rotation really right now is the strongest on the northern couplet now. Over the last couple of scans, that's really still very strong. We have very strong winds right now going towards the radar, approaching Huber. The rotation's starting to get a little bit more caught up on the southern side into the other area of rotation, but we still have two really separate couplets, at least for now. It's approaching Huber right now. There is a storm in southwest Georgia near Blakely that is also beginning to rotate again. It's still on the broad side of things, but this will be moving in the direction of Arlington and Leary. Our main concern, though, is the storm near Macon, Georgia right now. Very strong velocities and a potential tornado right now dropping, moving towards Jeffersonville, Ripley, and Fitzpatrick. Thank you so much, Cindy, for that very generous super chat. I really appreciate it. Wow, look at that. What camera is this? Is this 2? On the right side of your screen, we got a big shelf cloud coming in. This is over in Baldwin County, Georgia. I'll have a better view of this in a few minutes. I'll keep it bottom right of the screen. But, yeah, that's a big shelf cloud rolling in. Alright, new radar scan in a moment. Again, strongest rotation right now, approaching Huber and Reed's Interstate 16. And then this will be impacting Fitzpatrick, Jeffersonville, and Ripley. This is what it looks like currently a little bit further north on I-16, looking at this storm. Very ominous skies. This would be where we're looking for some sort of like lowering or something like that. But again, very dark out here, right along I-16. Latest velocity scan still really showing our main area of circulation now well to the north of Warner Robins. Approaching Huber and I-16, Fitzpatrick and Ripley in the path. If this continues, which it might for a little bit, if it does continue, McIntyre, Irwinton, and Toomsboro are in the long-term trajectory of this particular area of rotation here. In southern, central, or really just the dead center of Georgia. This is literally central Georgia. This is back to Baldwin County. They're actually moving the cam right now. Look at that. Baldwin County, Georgia, near Mildredsville. Severe storms rolling in right now. Very impressive shelf cloud. On the Radar Omega cyclone port. A little bit of rain on the lenses, kind of blurring it a little bit, but still really impressive view here of this storm. We actually might have just had a brief tornado here north of Warner Robins. There might have just been a brief tornado. That's where the strongest velocities were. If we just had one, it already has occluded, but there was at least a brief signature there that may have been a tornado. The strongest velocities are still in that same area near Huber and are now approaching I-16. I'm going to go back to Baldwin County, and I'm going to take a quick 60-second break. I'll be back in just a moment. But again, tornado warning for those north of Warner Robins. All right, we are back. It's getting live in Baldwin County, Georgia. Currently a severe storm rolling through right now. Wind's really picking up, actually. This is out of high school, by the way. Some of you guys are saying tornado on the left. Actually, that might be. I can't really tell. Let me full cam. Looks like it's rotating. Over here on the left? Definitely, I think that might just be rain, but that looks like it's kind of spinning a little bit. I think it's just rain, though. And it's possible to get these little QLCS spin-up tornadoes in a line of thunderstorms like this. Look at all the school buses, by the way. I guess school's getting out right now or something. Pretty good chance it was just rain, but I mean, we could have had some like spin there. Maybe it kind of almost looked like a tornado. I highly doubt that was actually like an actual tornado. I mean, we could have had like a really brief spin up in there, though. Never know. With what we've seen on radar today, like a lot of the couplets that we've even had is usually just very like small little areas of spin. So. And now all of a sudden it looks clear. The strong winds came through and now there's like nothing happening. It's so weird. And again, that camera's back up in Mildredsville on the Radar Mega camera. Storm isn't really that intense up there, but there is a tornado possible label on the northern segment there that's moving right along I-20. Thank you, Birdie, for becoming a member. Not seeing a whole lot of rotation right now in southwest Georgia and then west of Tallahassee. Mostly wind as of right now. The tornado risk continues to stay on the low side of things. And again, rotation has been ongoing for several minutes now, approaching Jeffersonville, Ripley, and Fitzpatrick, just northeast of Warner Robins. here in central Georgia. So continue to stay in your storm shelter, basement, closet, or bathroom if you are in this tornado warning. Shout out to Brent with the 5 gifted memberships. Really appreciate that. Look how low the clouds are on the left side of your screen. Back over here in Milledgeville in Georgia. Let's go full cam so you guys, so I can outline some stuff. There's a lot of scud right here. Not really seeing like a funnel or anything, but these clouds are very low, which is one of the reasons why we can get tornadoes in this type of environment, especially when the low-level wind shear is strong enough. Spin up possible in southeast of Athens. It's possible. The rotation's been pretty broad for a while. I'd be more concerned about the wind risk, but we could still see a brief tornado. Keep in mind, again, any tornadoes that we see today, for the most part, are going to be on the weak side of things. They're not really like EF3, 4, 5 tornadoes. Like, that's just not really possible in today's environment, unless, for some reason, we got discrete supercells, which we've not seen that. With everything being fairly linear, I mean, we're mainly talking about a threat for embedded tornadoes in a line of thunderstorms, which is what we're currently seeing even near Jeffersonville. A strong tornado still is possible, but we usually don't get anything above EF2. It's very rare to get an EF3 plus tornado out of a line of thunderstorms. That's not a reason why you should not be aware of this, though. You should still be ready, weather aware, all that sort of stuff, because tornadoes can still cause damage, especially if you're in like a mobile home or a manufactured home or an RV. We quite frequently see those take substantial damage, even from the weakest tornadoes. So, keep in mind that even an event like today, we can still see damage, and we've had damage. Like, there was a roof that collapsed over in Dothan, Alabama from a possible tornado, and that was probably a weak tornado, but it collapsed and it injured some students there. So, I mean, that's all very possible with even an environment like today. Flying debris can happen. Doesn't really matter the intensity of the tornado. The difference really is homes not getting leveled versus getting completely leveled is, I think, really one of the biggest differences with strong and intense and violent tornadoes. Thank you, Mystical, for becoming a member. Not a good time to put the kids on the bus. Yeah, I don't know if school's getting out here, but they were, it looked like they were putting kids on the buses there on the middle left of your screen. We have the rotation over the last scan is a bit broader northwest of Marion. We still have 2 areas of rotation that are approaching Jeffersonville and Ripley. Eventually, Irwinton and McIntyre will be in the path of this. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning off to the west of Greenville right now, near Westminster. Look at this. Wow. We actually got rotation right now moving into South Carolina, near Seneca and Clemson. Actually, quite a bit of rotation there. Got a new radar scan coming in right now. So yeah, this is a storm to watch for near Seneca. Long-term going towards Greenville, Simpsonville, and South Carolina. And we've also just gotten a new severe thunderstorm warning east of Athens for damaging winds around 60 miles per hour. Thank you, OI, for becoming a member. Welcome to the Velocities. Approximately what time can we expect the storm system to pass through upstate South Carolina? Really over the next few hours. It's mainly going to be from now until about 5 or 6. The threat of severe weather drops off for upstate South Carolina pretty quickly after about 6 o'clock. Tornado warning has been updated. It's, again, only now for Twiggs County in Georgia. I'll have a new update on the total tornado warning count, or tornado population here in a second. But a little under 2,000 people are in this warning, I think, now. It's much more rural areas now here in central Georgia, just southeast of Macon. But after this, it will be going towards McIntyre, Toomsboro, and Irwinton, which is a slightly more populated region. Here's the latest velocity scan. And after this, we'll go back down to the south and also back to the north and give a little broad overview of what's happening. All right, here's the latest scan, and I'm not seeing as much of a concern here. I mean, there's still rotation north of Interstate 16 and a little bit there near Marion, but it's not as concerning as before. We're going to continue to watch it closely, though, in case it does produce a tornado down the road. Further down to the south into Florida, I do want to give you guys a few updates on this. So in Florida, we mainly have a wind risk going towards Tallahassee and Weewahitchka north of Port St. Joe. Again, the main concern here will be damaging winds. We could end up seeing an isolated tornado out of this activity. I still think the tornado risk is on the low end in Florida and also in very far southern Georgia, but still something that you want to stay weather aware on. Back over in southwest Georgia, it's mostly damaging winds, some lightning, heavy rainfall that could lead to some localized flooding. Again, our tornado threat is the highest right now in central and eastern Georgia. We are watching the storm southeast of Macon for a potential tornado. And then we are dealing with mostly damaging winds right now across the line of storms that is stretching from about Milledgeville in central Georgia all the way back into western South Carolina, just west of Greenville. Our severe weather threat is increasing, though, right now for those over in South Carolina. We are starting to see damaging winds moving into the state, and there's also potential for an isolated tornado. Rotation, again, has been increasing a little bit near Seneca in South Carolina, and if this does try to produce a tornado, it'll have a much better chance of doing so as it moves in the direction of Greenville, Travelers Rest, Malden, and Simpsonville. So in the long term, that'll be a storm to watch for. We do have a couple of strong storms as well off into western North Carolina, but nothing severe as of now. As a reminder, our severe thunderstorm watch goes until about 7 o'clock Eastern time for Georgia, Alabama, Florida, and again, they're going to probably issue a new watch here soon for those in southeast Georgia and the Florida Panhandle. So a new watch will come out here, I think, very soon, probably just a severe thunderstorm watch. That'll probably go until like 8 o'clock or so tonight. And then the severe thunderstorm watch in the Carolinas currently goes until 7 o'clock. If I had to guess, they'll probably issue another watch later this afternoon along the East Coast. So that is a general overview of what's happening right now and what is to come. If you're south of Atlanta and you've already seen the line of storms, you're pretty much done for the rest of today, aside from rain and some lightning. What's been going on? We've had some brief spin-up tornadoes in the line of thunderstorms that's been moving across Georgia and Alabama so far today. It's been pretty interesting. Again, on a day like today is not necessarily a day that I usually go live for, but I think it was warranted. I think going live was a good idea today. We've had a lot of damage already in Georgia and Alabama from this line, and we've also had some tornadoes. Been able to give a lot of early callouts too. We were able to give a ton of early callouts to these storms, which I think I'm pretty proud of. About over in Malvern, Alabama, another damage report coming out there of numerous trees and power lines down near Slocum and Malvern, primarily south of County Road 49. And then another report in Fayette in Alabama of numerous trees down behind the Fayette Volunteer Fire Station. In your Enterprise, a member of the Emergency Communications Department in Coffee County reported a few trees down along Laurel Breeze Drive. And then here's the report that we were talking about a little while ago. A possible tornado hit the Dothan Preparatory Academy, causing the roof to collapse and injure an unknown amount of students. So there are some injuries there at Dothan due to a tornado, or a possible tornado. A strong area of rotation about hit the radar site here near Jefferson. The rotation has intensified just a little bit over the last couple of scans. Southeast of Fitzpatrick, moving right along Highway 96. They may continue this tornado warning. We'll have to wait and see. I was in the enhanced risk of severe weather on Sunday night, and I did not get a tornado. Well, it's probably a good thing. I mean, yesterday, again, we had a large enhanced risk. It was more driven by the wind threat more than tornadoes, but tornadoes were a concern yesterday, but we ended up having a lot more QLCS tornadoes, meaning tornadoes embedded in a line of thunderstorms. Didn't really see a whole lot of discrete supercellular activity yesterday compared to what we could have seen. Yes, that damage was in Dothan, Alabama. We also had some damage reported out of the west side of Dothan, some of the suburbs there. How's Wednesday looking? Again, we're going to have a video in about 2.5, 3 hours talking all about the threat of severe weather tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday. There's a ton of stuff to talk about, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, we could have a 15-minute video today after this stream is all said and done. I'm not even kidding. We could legitimately have a 15-minute forecast. We have to talk about the severe weather threat Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the potential for catastrophic flooding in the Mississippi River Valley, temperatures. There's just so many things to talk about, including our severe weather event yesterday too, because it's a video, and it also has to be edited. So there's just so many things we're gonna have to talk about in today's video. So, but again, we will have a video for sure. I think in about an hour or two, or about 2 or 3 hours. It'll be around 4:30 Central Time, I think. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel, click the bell icon so you're notified when that video comes out. Again, it is a video that you are going to want to watch. There are so many things to talk about. What's the status for Raleigh and Durham, North Carolina for later today? Asked Denise with the super chat. It'll be mostly a wind threat, but an isolated tornado is possible. Keep in mind that our severe weather risk for today has been downgraded just a smidge depending on where you are. Our enhanced risk of severe weather does continue in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
While our tornado risk is a little bit more on the low side of things now, an isolated tornado or two are possible along the East Coast, with our most elevated tornado potential in central Georgia and northwestern and upstate South Carolina. And that's mostly over the next couple of hours. All right, we do now have a new tornado warning. It's going to be an extension of the warning that we currently have. This is for Wilkinson and Twiggs County in Georgia, for Jeffersonville, Irwinton, and Toomsboro. So if you are in this tornado warning, seek shelter, get away from windows, lowest floor possible, and get to an interior room of your home or building. Our rotation is right over the radar site, so we literally can't even see it. But it looked like it was on the stronger side of things a moment ago. This tornado warning will go until about 3:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Virginia Beach will be mainly a wind risk, and that will be mostly around sunset. So your storms are going to be closer to like 6, 7, 8 o'clock. Yeah, the enhanced risk of severe weather and the tornado risk has decreased, which I agree with. They have decreased the probabilities. I was honestly a little surprised of how large the 10% tornado risk was yesterday, because it was huge. But they didn't even have a 10% this morning. They removed it entirely, which I agreed with. The line of storms was initially supposed to be a lot more intense, and it was supposed to last a lot longer, but models have downtrended a lot since yesterday on it. But nonetheless, I mean, we're still talking about some, scattered damaging winds and embedded tornadoes across this line. It's been pretty active already this afternoon. Back over in Weehawken, Florida, west of Tallahassee, there is a discrete cell, or not really discrete, but kind of a storm that's organizing along the line of thunderstorms. It's this thing right here, right over Weehawken. Rotation's intensifying just a little bit here over the last couple of minutes, approaching the Larkin Fish Camp, and moving towards Highway 12 just south of Bluntstown. So something to watch for there. But generally speaking, Florida's tornado risk, again, a little bit on the lower side of things. My 1 million subscriber signed hat is supposed to come today. Very excited. Nice. Expectations for Tallahassee, mainly wind. Be prepared for damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour. Any loose line items, trampolines, all that sort of stuff, bring them inside, hatch them down. In southern Illinois, the Alexander and Pulaski County tornado was rated EF1 from yesterday. That began near the Mississippi River. A lot of trees were uprooted. The power poles also snapped. We are starting to get a lot more of those tornado reports coming in from yesterday. Double check and see if we have any. Yeah, we do have some concrete tornadoes that have been confirmed. We've had, we actually had a tornado, believe it or not. Actually, this is from a couple days ago. Never mind. From yesterday's severe weather event, though, we have 2 tornadoes at least that have been confirmed so far. But there was definitely more than 2. We just have surveys that are still going to be happening throughout the day. Just south of Cape Girardeau, we actually had a tornado. If we go to the map here, there's a slightly more long-tracked tornado. This is an EF1 back over near Thames. I think this was our PDS tornado as well. It ended up being an EF1 tornado, maximum sustained winds of 105 miles per hour. And then also we had a tornado confirmed back all the way up near Knox and Donaldson, northeast of Winona. If I'm not mistaken, I think this might have been an unwarned tornado that we saw on radar, but I could be wrong. My memory may have faded, I don't know. But we had a lot more tornadoes than just 2. We had one in Michigan, and we had a bunch of other ones that will be probably, surveyed today. Once again, this is a tornado warning in central Georgia going towards Toomsboro and Irwinton. Main area of rotation seems to be on the northeast side of Jeffersonville, and I say seems to be because the radar site is kind of messing up the viewage here of the velocities, but that looks like the trajectory of where that rotation was going. So some rotation right now northeast of Jeffersonville. Irwinton and Toomsville will be on the track of that. If you're in Warner Robins, you are good to get out of your safe place, by the way. Also, next Storm Prediction Center outlook for Wednesday's severe weather threat is in about 45 minutes. So if we get a moderate risk of severe weather for that day, we might actually get that in the next outlook, which is in about 45 minutes from now. And if we end up getting a 5%, or not 5%, a moderate risk of severe weather, we'll talk about it in today's video, which will be again around 4 or 5 o'clock. We actually have rotation developing a little bit north of this tornado warning cell, moving towards McIntyre. So if you're in McIntyre, be ready. Possible tornado threat heading in your direction. Just a little bit of rotation there. The rotation that we've had west of Greenville in South Carolina has become a bit broader over the last few minutes. Definitely still a significant damaging wind threat that's heading in your direction. Maybe a brief tornado out of that line as it continues to push to the east. We'll have another radar scan here in a moment on the velocities. My cat is actively sleeping on my bed. This is a live stream. We are live. This is not pre-recorded. A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for a large area from Sandersville back to Cochran and Dublin near I-16 for damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour. My cat looks like right now in the bed. He just passed out. I'd move my camera, but I don't want to. This is a live pre-recorded stream. If we were pre-recording a stream, that would be really impressive. I don't know how you do that with active tornado warnings and stuff. We do have a new mesoscale discussion from the Storm Prediction Center for those along the East Coast. For some reason, I don't have Twitter pulled up. This is it right here. We are expecting thunderstorm development within the next few hours in the southern Appalachians, and that'll pose a downstream damaging wind risk. Currently about a 60% chance of a severe thunderstorm watch being issued in North Carolina and Virginia. Again, our main concern is damaging winds. And again, I'm not super concerned about the tornado risk in this area today, but a brief weak tornado or two are possible. Just have ways to receive alerts, and you should be good to go. The tornado last night in Lebanon, Ohio hasn't been rated yet. I don't have any information about ratings in Ohio yet. I haven't seen any yet. But whenever that happens, we'll definitely let you know on a live stream or in one of our videos. What's the cat's name? Cheese Curd. That is her name. You know, I don't know if I've been, like, this is not related to today's severe weather event, but, like, Tuesday through Thursday, I've said this a lot, but it really looks concerning. Like, I don't know how else to put it. It looks like one of the most concerning storms that we've seen, you know, all year. I'm not saying that in terms of, like, we're going to see what we just saw on March 14th and 15th all over again, which, again, that was a very different event. But, like, if you look at the future radar here, again, we had a really potent storm system, not nearly as strong as the one that we had on March 14th or 15th in terms of barometric pressure, but we have a winter storm happening. We have severe weather happening on both Tuesday and Wednesday, which could be rather significant. And even Thursday, severe weather continues. And then also Thursday into Friday, look at how the rain is just training here in the Mississippi River Valley. We're going to have a potentially catastrophic flooding threat take place in parts of Kentucky, Arkansas, Tennessee, maybe even back into Northeast Texas. And this is going to continue even into the weekend. And then by early next week, we still have rain and severe weather happening here in the Deep South and the Southeast. It's really concerning. I mean, it's hard to put into words. Like, I mean, this could be like a major severe weather event and as well as flooding event that we're going to be seeing here during the middle and end of the week. But the good news is that after this upcoming weekend, I think things will be a lot quieter for at least some period of time. So we'll get a break, but it's going to be a while until that break happens. We got a long next 7 days ahead. So as a reminder, make sure you subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon so you're notified with the latest live streams and videos. Again, we'll have a video update on this big storm that's coming. That's going to start tomorrow and run all the way through the end of the week. I'll have a video update for you in about 2.5, 3 hours. And again, we'll be live here for probably another 30 minutes or so, maybe less. And then we'll make that video. Because I definitely want to get a video out today. I think it's really important. So there's some public awareness about it. I'm not saying this to scare you guys. I'm literally just saying straight up, it's literally the most concerning storm I think I've seen this year in terms of all the threats that we could see. It's not just one thing that's going to be happening. It's a bunch of different things. It's tornadoes, heavy rain, high winds, hail, a potential winter storm / ice storm, catastrophic flooding, and there's just so many things with it. So rotation on this tornado warning has been broadening out over the last few minutes. Again, I'm not as concerned about this at this point. Just continue to stay in your safe place if you're in Toomsboro or Irwinton. Shout out to Taj with the super chat, back for a second day in a row. Any benches yet? I have not seen any benches yet. No benches have been spotted. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning for Augusta, Georgia, and McCormick. Just south of Abbeville. That is for damaging winds around 60 miles per hour. Rotation's intensified a little bit over the last few minutes, again, west of Greenville. So a little bit more rotation there. That's near Lake Keowee. It's going to be tracking just to the north there of Highway 76, moving into the direction of Greenville and Travelers Rest. So be ready for this. If you are in the Greenville area, damaging winds are likely here in the next hour, and then we might even see an isolated tornado come out of this line. Thank you, Aaron, for becoming a member. Seeing a report in the chat of super high winds in McIntyre right now. This is right where McIntyre is. We did have a brief area of rotation, but it occluded pretty quickly. So you might have a little bit of the leftovers of our rear flank downdraft surge of wind, also called the RFD. But again, I'm really not seeing any rotation anymore on this tornado warning. It might just get canceled. Zoom out a little bit so you guys can see everything. This is the majority of the activity. Again, we still have severe weather as well back down near the Gulf Coast. Really just wind. Not really much rotation with this activity. Severe weather threat is the most significant across Georgia and South Carolina right now. Hey, John, also for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, at MaxVelocityWX, and join our Discord server. The link is in the description. Make sure to follow us on those platforms. Again, we post a lot of rapid-fire updates on those with severe weather events upcoming, flooding threats, all that sort of stuff. And sometimes even on our social media platforms, we do post stuff that is not necessarily in our videos or live streams. So definitely recommend you go ahead and check out our Twitter and Facebook, both linked in the description below. And you can join our weather community on Discord. A link to that is also down below. Tornado warning has now been canceled in Georgia, so we are back down to no tornado warnings for the time being, and hopefully it will stay like that for a little while. But right now, mainly a wind risk now in Georgia near Dublin. There's not really much rotation on that activity anymore. Back over west of Tallahassee, we actually have a wind damage report over in Calhoun County. Dispatch is reporting a tree down on Highway 69 near Macedonia Church. Got a couple little prefrontal storms that are forming just off to the west of Tallahassee. Might even see a little tornado risk come out of something like that, but it's going to be probably at least another 20 or 30 minutes until something really organizes here. We'd have to have like a storm merger or something along those lines take place. A little bit more conditional of that happening. 2 brand new severe thunderstorm warnings have been issued. One for Tifton and Albany, Georgia, and a new one for Tallahassee, Florida, and Thomasville in Georgia for damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour. Hey, Timothy, for becoming a member. How will North Carolina be? It should be mostly wind. Low-end tornado risk will exist, though. So we got a decent surge of wind right now north of Clemson. A little bit of convergence attempting to occur here west of Greenville in upstate South Carolina. Again, low tornado risk heading towards the Greenville area. Continue to stay weather aware as that storm continues to track east. Do I have Cash App? I do not. We only have Venmo and PayPal and stuff like that. But I might add that in the future. We'll see. And there's another one. This actually, I think this might be one of our first considerable threats of severe weather. We had one earlier, that hailstorm, but this one is going to be for Lawrence, Anderson, Pickens, Greenville, and Spartanburg counties in South Carolina. That is a significant risk for damaging winds, up to 70 miles per hour. So if you're in Greenville, Malden, Simpsonville, Duncan, Travelers Rest, or Tigerville in upstate New York, make sure that you are staying away from windows as this line of storms approaches. Be indoors, obviously. A significant wind risk is coming your direction, and the main risk is just north of Clemson right now. Just beelining it right for Greenville, South Carolina. Hey, Michaela, for the 9-month membership. Nothing really happening yet in Virginia and North Carolina or anywhere in the Northeast. Again, if you're back over further to the north and east, our severe weather risk is on the lower side of things, and it's mostly going to start up in about 2 hours or so. If you're like in Eastern Virginia or, you know, back over in Eastern North Carolina, Maryland, Delaware, New York, that threat's going to ramp up later today. It's going to be a little bit until something happens. Did I get sleep? Yes, I got sleep. I got about like 6.5 hours of sleep. It wasn't terrible, but we got some sleep. We're still energized. But tonight will definitely be a lot more sleep. I'll probably go to bed at like 10 tonight instead of going to bed at like 1. Actually, I think I went to bed near 2 last night, so we didn't really get a whole lot of sleep. But this week is not going to be really a week of sleeping. It's going to be a week of being live a bunch and having a bunch of videos because, man, the weather's going to be crazy. Weather is about to get crazy. Hey, Dork, for the super chat. I'm in a semi-truck in Greenville, South Carolina, not driving today. Will I be okay staying in the truck, or do I need to go inside a building? I would just take it safe and go inside a building. Just play it safe. Because we do have a surge, again, of 70-mile-per-hour winds coming, and that could make it a little bit more dangerous if you're even in a parked semi. So I'd play it on the safe side of things and just go into a building until the storm passes. Keep in mind, the impact of this severe storm is expect considerable damage to trees, mobile homes, roofs, and outbuildings. So, I mean, semi-trucks could definitely get flipped over from winds that high. I mean, it hasn't. It has not gotten crazy. I would say the last 24 hours have been pretty intense. We've had a lot of stuff happening, but it's really about to get crazier by the middle of the week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and even Sunday. We basically got another 5.5, 6 days until we are starting to clear out from all the significant severe weather and, you know, flooding and all that crazy stuff. Am I going live tomorrow? It looks likely. It looks likely. I'm not going to guarantee it yet, but I'm pretty sure we are. The latest HRRR model's coming out, so maybe that'll give us a decision on that, but at the minimum, we are going to have a video tomorrow, or video today and a video tomorrow, and we'll probably have a video on Wednesday if the severe weather outbreak or tornado outbreak on Wednesday is not a super, like, early morning event. Like, if basically ahead of time I'll plan out, like, you know, let's say the severe weather really ramps up around 2 or 3 o'clock on Wednesday instead of like 10 a.m. We'll be able to have a video out on Wednesday morning talking about that risk and what else is coming up. So we should at least have a video today. And we'll have one tomorrow. Thank you, Mobito, for the super chat. Love watching the streams and watching and learning about these storms as a person traveling to America at the end of September. What is the weather expected in Texas and Maryland and Pennsylvania? That's 2 completely different zip codes. Texas in September is usually really hot and pretty dry. We sometimes have some thunderstorms. Maryland and Pennsylvania, they can kind of vary, but typically we are still talking about some showers and storms there, but it's also in most occasions on the drier side of things in September. The jet stream is still lifted far off to the north, so. Any misery for becoming a member? Dothan got hit hard. We had a roof collapse on one of the schools there that injured some students. There's a ton of damage reports coming in around Dothan right now. Another tree down near Kinsey, Alabama. See if there's any other damage reports I might have missed. We had a ton of damage reports in western Georgia, too, near Carrollton. Several trees down on Cypress Circle. Tree down at the intersection of 5 and the church. Several trees down on mobile homes along Memory Springs Drive in Lowell, Georgia. And back over south of Bowdoin, Georgia, there are trees down as well as at some of the intersections like Highway 5 and Revenville Road. There's also a tree down in Senonia, Georgia, and then also back over near Stonecrest. We had the radar mega camera on earlier where there was really strong winds. Trees and power lines down along Cherry Hill Road, and also trees down on Toop Smith Road, which is again just southeast of Atlanta. And one damage report on the east side of Atlanta in Avondale Estates, Georgia. There are more trees down with structural damage on 1500 block of Alvarado Way. I can't remember. I thought we might have had a tornado warning there, or might have just been, I think it might have just been south of that one. Thank you, Ryan, for the super chat. When or are you doing a forecast for tomorrow for Oklahoma? I will be doing a forecast in a video format at about 4:30, 5 o'clock Central Time. That's the current ETA for our video. I would assume it's going to be out around 4, maybe just a hair after 4. The only reason why it's not sooner is because I'm live. So, but yeah, I think our video will be out around 4. Thank you, AT&T, for becoming a member as well. Some storm chasers are on at 3. What? Who's chasing today? There's no way anybody's this far to the east chasing this, right? want to double check and see. I highly doubt there's storm chasers out here. There are some streams scheduled for some chasers, but they're all for like tomorrow and the following days. I could be completely wrong, but I don't think there's like there might be a few people chasing out there, but most of them don't have live feeds. So, and a lot of them are like local chasers. They don't really, you know, meander out too far, and I don't know many of them anyway. People do that in the southeast. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, usually people do not chase the east coast. A lot of the time, this is where we have exiting storm systems. We don't often have environments where it's favorable for tornadoes. And even then, the chasing terrain is pretty atrocious. Got a lot of trees, lots of hills, mountains. It's really hard to chase out here. And a lot of the time, our tornadoes out here are weak or two. They're not usually strong. Very rare that you get a strong tornado setup out here along the East Coast. Is an EF1 tornado dangerous? It can be. It can definitely be dangerous if you live in a mobile home. Even in a normal home, it can be dangerous. It can definitely be dangerous. I would consider any tornado dangerous. Even EF0s. You want to go live here to the... on the Radar Mega Cyclone port. This is back over... in Hubbardsville. This is where we had severe storms roll through at the golf course, and you can see people are currently golfing on the left side of your screen. I can't really tell if they're having bad golf shots right now, but got people golfing here on the golf course. It's probably one of the coolest cameras. You can just see people golfing all day. We did have some severe weather roll through here. A little bit of a little rain delay for those that are in the area. It's getting a little bit better, though. The weather's improving. Rotation west of Greenville's been broadening out. Again, I think the threat for the rest of today mainly will be wind. Again, we could have a couple of tornadoes still, but the risk, again, generally lower for the rest of today. And yeah, really across the board at this point, mostly going to be a wind threat for the next few hours. Just make sure you have multiple ways to receive alerts, have a tornado action plan ready to go. And most importantly, stay safe out there. It'll still be pretty busy this afternoon. Again, plenty of severe weather still to come, but it's going to be a lot of damaging winds, and it's going to be mostly a marginal risk, in my opinion, for wind. And maybe a couple tornadoes. That's really about it. So, just make sure you have ways to receive alerts, tornado action plan ready to go. And also make sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. I've said this a lot, but at Max Velocity WX. Links are in the description. We post a lot of updates on our social media platforms even when we're not live. If there's something that I see concerning and I am at least able to post, I will post something about it. We've done it multiple times. Like even before we went live yesterday, there was an unwarned tornado in southern Alabama, I believe it was, or southern Mississippi. We were able to get that alert out there. And so I definitely recommend you follow us on socials. Max Velocity WX. That's on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all those platforms. Also, make sure to join our Discord server. That is linked in the description down below. And this will be my last reminder, I am pretty sure, for our 1 million subscriber merch. We have less than 45 hats left that are signed. If you want to get a signed hat, this is really the last chance that you have of getting a signed hat from me. You can get this at shopmaxvelocity.net. It is the top link in the description below. And we're only selling 500, and they're all numbered, so you'll have a number on the inside to see what number you actually get. Pretty cool, I think. You get this at shopmaxvelocity.net, top link in the description below. We have our t-shirts, hats, mugs, stickers, and a lot more. These are all very cool. And the last chance for you to get a handwritten card from me is also today. Again, this is all going away in about 7 to 8 hours. I'll probably leave this all up until about 9 o'clock Central Time. And then all of our 1 million subscriber merch is gone forever. And guess what is coming up? I think some of you guys will be excited about this. But this is, in my opinion, I'm really excited about this. Our next collection is our Supercell collection, and this looks amazing. I literally cannot wait for this to be out. This will be out tomorrow, so beginning tomorrow, we'll have our Supercell merch available. Stickers, t-shirts, mugs, bunch of other stuff. So definitely make sure to check that out when it all comes out. Again, that'll all be out at shopmaxvelocity.net. But I'm really excited about that collection, and that'll be out, by the way, for basically ever. So that's not going anywhere. That's not like a limited release or anything like that. But all right, again, that's it for today's stream. Appreciate you guys all watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Click the bell icon so you're notified. Again, we'll have a video in about an hour to two, or probably about 2 hours from now. We'll have a video talking all about the big storm that's coming later this week. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and make sure to watch the video. It's going to be a very big video. A lot of stuff to talk about in terms of severe weather, flooding, and a lot of other stuff. So, yeah, make sure to subscribe, click the bell icon so you're notified. And again, we'll be live again possibly tomorrow, but definitely Wednesday, possibly Thursday, possibly Friday, maybe Saturday and Sunday, basically every day this week. So make sure to stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon, and we'll see you guys all again in the next video or live stream, which again will be tomorrow, and our video will be out in about 2 hours. So click the bell icon and be notified. All right. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Stay safe the rest of today, and we'll see you guys all again in the next stream or video. And again, don't forget to check out shopmaxvelocity.net. Signed hats are available until about 9 o'clock Central Time tonight. All right, have a great night and day. We'll see you guys all again in about 2 hours in our video. Bye-bye.